American Comics. Invincible, starting with Lord of the Shadow Kingdom. Chapter 81. Over the years, the hope to support their survival is the unexplored interstellar outposts, and the Kryptonian race code that still exists in this universe. As long as the racial code exists, they have the hope of rebuilding Krypton. Even if this hope is so small that the infinite is close to zero, they never give up. Now, finally, there is hope. A farmhouse in the suburbs of Blue Star, Kansas. Clark and his mother, Martha, watched the TV with weird scenes. Martha grabbed his palm anxiously, and Clark hugged his mother, comforting the restless mother. Martha's body trembled slightly. "Son, are they going to take you away?" Clark kissed his mother's forehead and comforted her. "Mom, I will never leave you. No one can take me." Martha burst into tears. "Then what should we do now? They are aliens with spaceships." Clark's eyes moved slightly, and he made up his mind. "There is someone who can help us." "Martha." "Who?" "Clark. The god who threw the alien Dark Leader into the sun, the strong man known as the King in Black." Martha looked worried. The King in Black is eclectic in his behavior and is a willful and powerful god. How could he help them? The King in Black is both good and evil, but the lady in white skirt who appeared next to the King in Black looks more kind. Clark looked at his mother seriously. "Mom, this method is worth a try." 3 hours later, in the hall of the Dark Palace, everyone was reading magic books and communicating, and Superman asked to see him. Fang Quan, 263, looked at the young man wearing a red cloak and a tight blue battle uniform in front of him unexpectedly. "Clark Kent." Superman Clark was taken aback. "You know my name." Fang Quan put down the magic book in his hand, slightly surprised. "I know, you don't have to be surprised. I have many abilities that you don't know, part of which is to rely on the power of time and space to see the past and the future. However, I am curious, why did you come to me?" To be reasonable, in this incident, Superman can solve it independently. "The only place I want to intervene is probably to conquer General Zod, rebuild Kryptonian civilization, and train round Star Warriors." Superman Clark's eyes were slightly pitiful. "I don't believe that Zod would let me go so easily. I don't think he would let Blue Star go so easily. I don't know why, but my instinct tells me so." Fang Quan nodded calmly, stroking his chin with his hand. "Your intuition is right, you really can't trust Zod, and he will use the Genesis weapon to transform the entire planet into helium." As soon as the words fell, the eyes of everyone around who had been eating melons with leisurely hearts widened. "Tony swears directly. Things are so dangerous, why don't you say anything? Even if you are too lazy to do it, let me help. If I eat melon on my own head, my house will explode, who can bear it?" The absorber David didn't say a word, but the eagerness and inquiry in his eyes were about to fly out. Banner is the calmest one, and he advised everyone, "Look out, strictly speaking, we have passed the end of the world several times." Tony squinted at him, the meaning in his eyes was self-evident. "Good advice, don't try to persuade me like this next time." Clark was dumbfounded. "How can I stop them?" Fang Quan clicked his tongue. "Stop it. I think you should worry about another thing before stopping it." Clark's eyes were slightly wary. "What's the matter?" Fang Quan showed a kind smile. "Why do you think that I will help you?" "The task I got was to conquer Superman by force." Superman Clark regretted slightly. "Because, I think there is still hope for all of this, and I can pay the corresponding price. But now, I have to admit, I can't hide how I feel. You are full of dark forces here, and you are not a sincere and kind person." Quote, "What is this, the wolf on the left and the tiger on the right, choose a pit and jump into it." Fang Quan raised a finger and shook his head slightly. No, I'm not really a kind person, but I'm very sincere. As long as you can come up with a price that satisfies me, I'm willing to make a deal. Equivalent exchange, isn't it good?" Superman Clark's eyes became serious, his fists clenched slightly. "What do you want?" Fang Quan smiled. "I want the Kryptonian race code on you. With this, I can rebuild the Kryptonian race." Superman Clark's eyes moved slightly, and he retreated vigilantly. "Although I don't know what the racial code you are talking about, I don't think this kind of thing should be given to you. This guy wants to control the fate of Kryptonians, it's impossible." Fang Quan smiled and said, "It's up to you." Boom. In just an instant, Fang Quan appeared in front of Superman Clark. Superman Clark's pupils narrowed sharply, and he stretched out his hand to block the fist that hit his face. The air exploded, the shockwave exploded, the floor was shattered and the entire hall was blown away by the shockwave. All the melon eaters around were blown away by the shockwave. Fang Quan felt very satisfied. Not bad, your reaction speed is much faster than others. No wonder it's Superman, look at the reflexes. Superman's face flushed slightly, and he felt the strength in his clenched fist getting stronger and stronger. His whole body was slowly retreating, his arms were slightly bent downwards, and the veins on his forehead began to burst. Your strength is so strong. Null. Superman opened his mouth to say a word, relaxed his strength a little, and flew upside down, colliding with countless buildings along the way, and finally stopped in front of the outer wall of the palace. Fang Quan shook his hands casually, and smiled slightly. I've already released the water. If you only have this strength, then you are not qualified to ask me for help. Superman's eyes were shocked, he gasped slightly, and his numb palms quickly returned to their peak state. I will not hand over the race code to you, and I don't know where it is. Fang Quan stepped forward and appeared in front of him, showing a kind smile. The race code is in your body, and your body contains 1 billion Kryptonian genes, so you can become a perfect super Kryptonian. Superman's instincts were quickly awakened, and a sense of extreme vigilance quickly filled his brain. His eyes automatically shot out fiery red rays, trying to drive away the person in front of him. Can't let him get the race code. The racial code hidden in the cells of the body began to emit a glimmer of light, and was on high alert for the dark god in front of Superman. Fang Quan chuckled, and shot laser light from his eyes, using the power of the pig charm to attack him back. Every time, the red rays and the laser beams collided with each other, and the shockwave forced Superman to retreat continuously, while Fang Quan stood indifferently. The red ray kept retreating, and soon reached 2/3 of the distance. Superman's face was shocked, and his mind was calculating rapidly. No, I'm not strong enough to fight him now. He even has an ability similar to his own, and the strength of his ability far exceeds his own. Can't beat it. Run. Superman made a judgment in an instant, gave up the shot directly, and desperately used the biological position to dodge. The laser light brushed his cheek and flew into the distance, bombing a mountain range in the distance. Fang Quan stopped attacking, admiring his actions with interest, seeing what tricks Superman could have. In the next instant, Superman turned around and flew away at a supersonic speed of Mach 24. The ground was shattered by his powerful ability. Fang Quan froze on the spot, a little dumbfounded, ran away. The Invincible Superman, the god of the future, became a golden Superman at the end of time and space, the god of Superman who suppressed countless time and space anomalies, unexpectedly, just like that, ran away. What are you running for? Fang Quan was extremely speechless, and at the same time quickly calculated the space coordinates. Only then did he realize what the loophole here was. The current Superman is only in his infancy, and has not yet experienced so many major events later, and has not yet become the golden Superman who controls time. In addition, he is not an evil person, so there is no conflict with him. So, he just ran away. Grass. Fang Quan crushed the space in front of him, appeared in midair, and blocked Superman's flight route, with a smirk on his face. If you want to run, have you asked me? Superman Clark is extremely regretful now, regretting that he made this choice. Immediately, Superman turns in the direction of Flight, who must now escape the demon and protect the racial code. Fang Quan blew a whistle, appeared in front of him, and slapped out, "You continue to fly, I want to see you, soul separation, how do you fly?" A palm was firmly slapped on Superman Clark's chest, but Superman Clark didn't feel any pain, and even felt his body become very light. Superman Clark was about to fly out in the next moment, and suddenly felt a sense of panic, as well as a sense of fear of losing something important in his life. He hurriedly turned his head and saw himself suspended in midair with his eyes closed. Superman Clark's eyes widened. What is this? He hurriedly looked down and saw his translucent palm and body. Is this my soul? Fang Quan was floating in the air, hugging his shoulders with a smirk. Run. Superman Clark smiled wryly in midair, and lowered his hands. The race code is in my body, I have already felt it. In an emergency, the racial code can greatly increase one's ability. But, in front of the perverted king in black, those ability values that he raised are not enough. Fang Quan saw that Superman finally stopped flying, so he had time to check his body, mentally scanning. Hey. Superman Clark shrugged. What's wrong? I can't run away, I can only recognize the reality. Fang Quan did not answer, but carefully scanned deeply, with a look of surprise on his face. Don't tell me, this race code is really powerful, and it is actually the same way as the Shadow Legion's model. The Shadow Legion is this model of producing dark soldiers according to demand. The same is true for Krypton's racial code. What this society needs, it will produce. Superman Clark felt speechless. But, old Krypton is extinct. This only proves that this scheme has huge flaws. Fang Quan nodded. Yes, because he lacks the contingency of life. The environment of the universe is changing. How can a tiny life form predict all the situations, and it will naturally become extinct due to the lack of contingency? Life requires chance and mutation to adapt to the environment. Quote. Superman Clark raised his eyebrows. You know so well, why does your Shadow Legion adopt this model? Fang Quan glanced at him and said with a smile, I am invincible, who can destroy me? Superman Clark. Really unpretentious, convincing answer. Krypton became extinct because of insufficient natural resources. The Black Shadow Legion will definitely not be extinct, because they have an invincible dark god. It is impossible. Lack of natural resources. This is the real sense. I am invincible, am I free? At this moment, Superman was very envious. Snake charms, rat charms, and tiger charms appeared in Fang Quan's eyes. The three talismans emerged at the same time, spinning slowly. The pure divine power emerged from his hands, and the warm power of life made Superman feel at ease. Fang Quan did not pull away directly, but chose to copy the Kryptonian race code, and an ancient golden patterned skull slowly emerged in his palm. Fang Quan took a disc and put it into the space. After getting what he wanted, Fang Quan pointed, and Superman Clark's soul returned to his body again. Superman Clark opened his eyes helplessly. You copied the race code. What do you want to do? Fang Quan clicked his tongue. Play, build a Kryptonian civilization and play 0.0. Superman Clark looked at him speechlessly. Play. Fang Quan was surprised. Why don't you play? Am I going to be a leader of a race and lead them to the pinnacle of civilization? Am I full or are you full? At this time, Superman Clark deeply felt what the National Security Bureau's evaluation of the Dark King was all about. Lizician. A Mephisto who will do anything for fun. Whether it's helping justice, helping evil, or saving the world. Among many behaviors, his core idea is to have fun. Superman had nothing to say. Fang Quan rolled his eyes, and soon thought of a very interesting operation. Well, when you surrender, tell Zod that the Kryptonian race code is here, let him come to me. Want. Quote. Superman. What are you going to do? Although General Zod is, on a certain level, his own enemy. But deep down in his heart, he really didn't want his own genocide to be exterminated. He still wants to find a solution, make himself a bridge between Blue Planet and Krypton, and even re-establish Kryptonian civilization. Especially after knowing that he has a racial code. Fang Quan chuckled. Let's play. Superman looked at him vigilantly, and took 2 steps back. I won't do this, he is one of the few people in my clan, he will die. Fang Quan rolled his eyes. If I don't kill him, I just want to play. Superman. Really not to kill. Fang Quan squinted at him. If you keep smearing like this, I'll go find him myself. Superman. Okay, I see, I'll do it. Quote. Kryptonian spaceship. General Zod looked at the Superman in front of him. His eyes were slightly cold. You mean, there is a super life form on the Blue Planet, and he asked me to go find him and take the Kryptonian race code from him. Superman Clark showed hesitation and said, but I hope you don't go, he is very strong. When facing him, I have no power to fight back. General Zod snorted coldly. I have spent my whole life proficient in combat. Where did you receive combat training? A farm. No matter how powerful this enemy is, for the future of Krypton, I will do whatever it takes to regain the race code and protect a civilization. Boy, I am the military leader of Krypton and the patron saint of the people of Krypton, you don't understand this. Quote. Superman Clark smiled bitterly. I really don't understand you, but I think you should investigate him, at least have a basic understanding of him. General Zod didn't bother to pay attention to this military rookie, and looked at the deputy commander Fiora, who had been in charge of the investigation earlier. Fiora controlled the console with both hands. Her face was full of shock. "General, you have to take a look at this." When General Zod heard this, he instinctively felt that something was wrong, so he hurried forward and called Fiora's information panel to check. The content of the video is only one paragraph, which is the video recorded by the Blue Star people near the concert, and they recorded all the passages in the mirror world. Inside, there was a warrior wearing a battle armor with a very casual style of play. He suppressed another alien creature in the magma. This alien creature recovered its ability extremely well. After a period of time, this warrior simply suppressed this powerful alien creature. The creature tugged through a portal. On the other side of the portal is Fixed Star. General Zod took a breath of cold air. Is this the life form of Blue Star? Confront the Fixed Star up close and make it back safely. Even when I was driving a Kryptonian spaceship, I didn't dare to be so brave. Fiora smiled wryly. This is the King of Darkness that the son of Eli said. General Zod's face became serious. This is indeed a super life form. At first, I thought that Eli's son was ignorant, and he was just talking about running the train. Now I think, the son of Eli is really ignorant. This is clearly a super strong man who can cross the space and time of the universe, the kind who can physically rival a space carrier warship. Depend on. Even if the Kryptonian civilization is still there, they dare not provoke such a strong man. Now I only have these clansmen left. How can I get back the race code? General Zod took a deep breath and sent the video to everyone. You all watch it. All the Kryptonians present went through it, and then fell silent. How to say, recapturing the racial code from such a powerful person is more difficult than rebuilding the Kryptonian civilization. Look, open the space portal with bare hands, prop up the space generator by one person, and turn the entire different space into a magma world within 2 or 3 breaths. Superman Clark's tone became serious. Now, what should we do? General Zod was silent, and I also wanted to know what to do. Superman breathed a sigh of relief. Why don't you leave? Live on another planet. General Zod looked at him like a fool. Impossible. I can't get the race code back, and I won't go anywhere. Superman Clark watched him silently. Do you have a way to defeat this Dark King? General Zod's tone slowed down slightly. Lead the way, I'm going to see him. No matter what the result is, I have to give it a try. Fiora, if I die in battle, you will take over my duties and lead everyone to find the next habitable planet. Quote. Fiora's eyes changed slightly. General, how could the general be allowed to do such a dangerous thing? To go, it has to be their subordinates. The core of Krypton's military system will only be there if there are generals. General Zod stretched out his hand to stop her words. I am responsible for the Kryptonian civilization. Fiora sighed lightly and obeyed the military order. General Zod began to order in an orderly manner, arranged everything, and then set off with Superman Clark. After all the Kryptonian soldiers watched General Zod leave, the genetic scientist suddenly questioned. When he just got on the ship, I did a simple scan of him. Obviously he was on this planet with weak gravity, but his body appears to be exceptionally healthy. Fiora's eyes changed slightly. What do you mean? The genetic scientist's eyes were silent. I suspect that the race code is in his body. Without the support of perfect Kryptonian genes, this child's body should not be so strong. The scouting soldier on the side said in a deep voice, but I didn't realize that he was lying. Genetic scientist. It is also a clever lie to tell a part of the truth. The Dark King does hold the race code. Who told you that the race code cannot be copied? The racial code is nothing but a huge gene pool. Fiora said in a deep voice, report to the general. The genetic scientist nodded. I have already sent the information. On the spaceship, General Zod sat in front of the console and let the brain drive automatically. Dee. General Zod pressed his watch, and a message from the genetic scientist popped up on the mask. General Zod frowned slightly and clenched his fists. Kelkant, tell me, can we get back the race code? Superman Clark smiled bitterly. I don't think so, because he is very powerful. When I watched him fight last time, I saw with my own eyes that he tore open the dimension of space with his hands and opened the portal to another planet, and he still has the boundless dark army. those dark lifeforms are immortal and have a very strong evolutionary ability. General Zod evaluated him in his heart and asked seemingly unintentionally, "Do you care about the civilization of the Cyanide Star? Are you willing to work hard for the construction of the star civilization?" Superman Clark: "I care, but I hope to find another planet to transform into Krypton. There are several super life forms here, the wife of the Dark King, who can create a different dimension space with bare hands, the strong." General Zod glanced at his eyes and knew that what he said was the truth. General Zod quickly pieced together the 7s and 8s of the matter. Superman met the Dark King, and the race code was taken away by the Dark King, but for some reason, the race code still exists in Superman. However, because of the Dark King, Superman did not dare to rebuild the Kryptonian civilization and was in a state of being suppressed. Superman does not support himself and others to create Kryptonian civilization here. The son of Eli can only be regarded as half of his friend. General Zod couldn't help but smiled silently. "Eli, your son, like you, has plenty of benevolence and folly, and aspires to an idealized world. However, this world is too cruel." General Zod suddenly asked, "Clark, are you willing to support us in rebuilding Kryptonian civilization?" Superman was taken aback. "Didn't you ask this before?" Superman Clark's brain was running fast, and he immediately thought of the 2 beeps of General Zod's watch before, and the subsequent inquiry seemed to revolve around a certain point. At some point, it turns out the truth has been known. Superman Clark paused, and said seriously, "He wants to see you, and he can't hide. If you are in danger, I will protect you and leave." General Zod shook his head. "No, if I am in danger, you run away immediately, and I will protect you with my life, and..." Superman Clark surprised. "Why?" General Zod's smile was full of righteousness. "You are our hope, how can I be willing to put you in danger?" Children, some things are more complicated than you imagined, but some things are very simple. Superman: "What?" General Zod: "I am the general of the people of Krypton, the patron saint of the people of Krypton. It is an honor for me to fight and die to protect you." In front of the gate of the Dark Palace, Fang Quan sat on the throne, spitting out grape skins while waiting for the guests to visit. He already knew when these people would arrive through the force of time and space. Tony, David, Banner, Nick Fury, Ross and others have all been present and are sitting on the sidelines. Ancient One sat on the side of the throne, curious, "Why do you have to meet that General Zod?" Fang Quan smiled. "I like to admire souls with high order. Believe me, General Zod is a life with a noble soul. Others don't know why, so they can only wait obediently." In less than 3 minutes, a spaceship landed on the ground in the distance, and General Zod walked down with Superman Clark. General Zod was the first to notice the young man on the throne. His eyebrows were tingling, his heart was pounding, and he was screaming crazily from hundreds of years of combat experience. "This is an enemy you cannot defeat. Is an enemy that can easily kill itself. Why am I still so weak?" General Zod hated himself extremely, hated his own weakness. "Last time, I was weak and failed to protect Krypton. This time, it was still because he was weak and unable to protect Lan Xing's foundation." General Zod paused slightly, then walked towards the Dark King unswervingly. "However, no matter what, as long as there is still hope, we must fight for it." General Zod walked 10 meters away from the Dark Throne, and the noise was thicker. "You are the Dark King. Clark said that the racial code is in your hands." Tony's eyes widened in surprise. "This is the most straightforward way of questioning I've ever seen." "God, are you Kryptonians so straightforward?" Fang Quan chuckled and waved his hands. "I think you should tolerate the way this general who has experienced the battlefield speaks. I am the King of Darkness, and the race code is indeed in my hands." Fang Quan stretched out his hand, revealing the black skull with golden lines. General Zod's breathing became short of breath in an instant. "The price, what price do I need to pay in order for me to get it?" Fang Quan put the Kryptonian race code on the armrest of the throne and smiled. "Don't worry, I like to play bright cards. As long as your fighting can satisfy me, I can give you the race code." After Fang Quan finished speaking, he turned his head to look at the beauty of Ancient One. "How about it, isn't his soul very noble?" Ancient One withdrew the light in his eyes and sighed. "He is indeed a noble general." Fang Quan looked at General Zod, and his eyes reflected the golden soul of General Zod. This is a pure and selfless noble soul who dedicates everything to civilization. The only hobby in his life is to protect the civilization of Krypton. He has been loyal to the entire Shawshank civilization from the beginning to the end. General Zod felt a little uncomfortable, frowned slightly, but endured it. Battle. What kind of battle? Fang Quan stood up and stretched his shoulders. Fight with me. General Zod opened his mouth wide and looked at Fang Quan in disbelief. Fight with you? Do you think I can survive a heat ray that turns the earth into lava, or do you think I can be thrown into fixed star without dying? General Zod's mind was spinning rapidly. I have one condition. Fang Quan. Say. General Zod pointed to Superman Clark aside. No. Regardless of whether I win or lose, I hope he can leave here and return to the spaceship. I am the Kryptonian general and I need to protect his life. Fang Quan looked at General Zod in surprise. You know. Forget it, it doesn't matter. I don't care about the racial code in his body, I just like fighting and killing. I agree. Quote, General Zod's forehead was sweating slightly, and the wisdom of the Dark King seemed to be stronger than he imagined. Just by saying a word, I gained insight into my true intentions. Superman Clark didn't understand until he heard 3 sentences from himself. Fang Quan stretched out a finger and pointed it at General Zod's tactical helmet. You get used to the blue star environment first, and when you get used to it, I will fight with you. General Zod's helmet dissipated instantly, and countless voices and information rushed into his brain. General Zod uttered a scream of pain, and the whole person was forced to kneel on the ground, holding his head in his hands, bearing the excess information. Superman Clark yelled, focus on the message you want to hear. Fang Quan glanced at it, and was too lazy to use this backward method, directly stretched out his hand, and punched the light power he had absorbed into General Zod's body, and at the same time, there were horse symbols flying into his body. The healing power of the mantra. General Zod's eyes were red, and he felt the power in his body increasing rapidly. He punched the ground, directly hitting the ground to a depth of tens of meters. When fist power reached 5 meters in front of the Dark Throne, the 3 shadow leaders watched fist power silently, and the invisible dark power completely suppressed him. Fang Quan typed for just 3 seconds. After feeling that he had reached the limit of General Zod, he stopped decisively and looked at him a little lazily. How is it? Is it all right? General Zod raised his head, his eyes glowed with red rays, and a confident smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. I feel so good, I feel like I have been reborn. I've become a strong man who can tear apart spaceships. Was that power just now the power of the sun? That's right. The energy of the yellow sun can make us Langsing people continue to become stronger. This is how I want to feel. General Zod's mentality was slightly inflated due to the sudden acquisition of super strength, but thousands of years of experience made him calm down quickly. Clark has a race code in his body, and he has absorbed the power of the yellow sun for nearly 30 years, and he has never beaten the Dark King. I can't win. No, I have to win. Even if I win miserably, I want to get the race code. Bet the life of my General Kryptonian, I want to take back the future of Kryptonian. Fang Quan slowly flew in front of him, with a slightly helpless expression. I used to be an extreme lover, and I like to constantly challenge my limits. I also enjoy challenging the limits and the joy of facing various difficulties. However, as I got stronger and stronger, I got farther and farther away from the feeling I used to have. So, I hope you can make me feel the joy of fighting. Quote. General Zod felt his scalp tingling. Even if he gained enough power, he could still feel the crushing power of the Dark King. I will try my best. Fang Quan took a step forward, and stood in front of Zod in an instant, tapped his forehead with his fingers, and smiled. No, you have to risk your life. Boom. Just a little bit. General Zod turned into a meteor breaking through the speed of sound, flying directly to the distant land. Upon seeing this, Ancient One used magic to bring up the screen for everyone to watch. Superman Clark opened his mouth wide. Walter. Does he keep his hands so much? Only now did he realize how much the Dark King had kept his hand away from him before. You can knock General Zod into the air with just one finger, so you pretended to punch me before. The Ancient One Beauty shrugged lightly. Get used to it, even I don't know where his limit is. After she finished speaking, her cheeks flushed slightly, remembering the experience of being bullied by Fang Quan every day during this period. During this period of time, her physical strength has been exercised to a great extent, all-round kind. The attention of others is attracted by the magic holographic picture. General Zod flew in midair, controlling his figure with a slightly unfamiliar biological stance, his pupils constricted, and his breathing was slightly rapid. How is this possible? I have obtained such a powerful force, and I was actually sent flying with a finger. Not playing, but pointing. The gap is too big. How to win? Fang Quan appeared in front of him again, and smiled. Don't doubt life, you can kill yourself. If you don't kill me, I will kill you. While speaking, Fang Quan smiled and punched lightly. General Zod's brain went blank, and his life felt the familiar breath of death god. If you can't handle this punch yourself, will die. General Zod was highly concentrated, his muscles were tense, relying on his excellent combat experience and instinct. He subconsciously used the spin force to dodge sideways, and used the way of unloading force to avoid the residual power, and punch the pinnacle punch of his life. At this moment, there is no self, no other, no heaven and no place in his mind, only a desperate counterattack to protect his own life. Boom! Countless layers of shockwave exploded on Fang Quan's chest, and the clothes on his upper body were blown into countless fragments by the powerful force and shockwave, and shattered away with the shockwave. Fang Quan looked at the fist on his chest in surprise. You can do this. At that moment just now, General Zod's soul erupted with powerful fluctuations, and he even had metamorphosis, reaching a certain state of extreme concentration. General Zod's fist began to bleed, and he looked at Fang Quan, who was unharmed in a daze. Drops of blood slipped down General Zod's fist, dripped down Fang Quan's chest, and dripped into the cracks in the collapsed ground. Fang Quan raised his head, showing appreciation. Yes, I like this kind of battle is interesting. General Zod's wound healed in an instant. He quickly retreated, opened a distance, concentrated, and looked at the Dark King with extreme vigilance. No, just this is not enough, I need to do better. Under the extreme pressure, the whole heart is extremely concentrated, and the sense of mission from the depths of the soul is burning his blood. Then, burn alive. General Zod said nothing. The blood in his body began to boil. Countless light particles boiled, pierced the blood vessels, tore the skin thinly, and flew in all directions. But because of his strong vitality, his body is constantly healing. General Zod's current image is like a sun burning inside his body. Thin cracks began to crack on his skin, and countless sunlight flew out from his cracks. General Zod stared at Fang Quan. His tone was extremely calm. I will try my best to kill you until I get back the race code. Fang Quan's attitude also became serious, showing a sincere smile, and opening his arms. Yes, this is the attitude of risking your life. You have to be serious, otherwise I will destroy your entire clan. General Zod's belief was completely ignited, and he stared angrily. Before you hurt my people, you have to kill me. Boom. The belief of the patron saint of Krypton was completely crazy, and General Zod crazily burned his own life to enhance his power, and rushed to the Dark King angrily. General Zod's powerful force distorted the surrounding space slightly, giving him the terrifying effect of space strike. At this moment, his strength and speed got a terrifying boost. Fang Quan's smile became arrogant, and he directly reached out his hand to take it. Then kill me, and you can protect your people. Ha 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 ha. Boom boom boom. General Zod went crazy and attacked Fang Quan with his fists approaching the speed of light. The surrounding land continued to collapse and explode due to the residual power. The terrifying shockwave residual power caused space waves, making everything around tremble. Fang Quan laughed wildly and caught every punch. Is this your strength? It's too weak, too weak. Did you use such weak strength to protect your people more than 300 years ago? FFLX. Krypton is extinct. Ha 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 ha. General Zod's eyes were bloodshot, his expression was extremely ferocious, and his voice was piercing. No. No, no, Krypton is not extinct. I am General Krypton. Fang Quan put more force on his fist, and punched back directly, hitting General Zod's face fiercely. The terrifying air wave exploded, and the figure of General Zod flew out instantly, crashing directly into the distant mountain, even blasting half of the mountain. The sound of General Zod's desperate mournful roar came from the mountain, and the whole mountain exploded instantly, and a crazy figure rushed towards Fang Quan from the ruins. General Zod's eyes burst into red, and extremely terrifying red rays erupted from his eyes. I'm not weak. I'm not weak. Hiss. The air was ignited, and high-temperature rays appeared on Fang Quan's chest in an instant. Fang Quan rushed up to the red ray with a proud smile. Aren't you weak? Your failure indirectly accelerated the extinction of Krypton. This is your strength. Let your own civilization die faster. General Zod's insufficient coup not only failed to save his civilization, but also pushed the way of civilization's sudden death, which intensified the internal friction before the death of Kryptonian civilization. General Zod attacked angrily. The skin on his fist began to turn red, and countless sunlight burst out from under the cracks in the skin of his fist. Fang Quan resolutely connected. The power of darkness on the surface of his body boiled instantly, and collided with the power of light constantly, and the surrounding light and dark flickered indefinitely. Fang Quan was slightly surprised. He didn't expect General Zod's attack to be so penetrating. It could collide with the darkest force on his body. Is this the blessing brought by fully burning faith? Still, I couldn't hurt myself. Fang Quan gave a slight push, and General Zod turned into a meteor and flew out backwards, smashing into a farther mountain. The sky and earth shattered in Setsuna, earthquakes continued, and the direction of the surrounding mountains was forcibly changed. Kill. For the people. Without the slightest pause, General Zod overturned the rock above his head, flew out again, and charged towards the Dark King. This time, the skin cracks on General Zod's body became more dense, and his whole body was already on the verge of completely collapsing and exploding at any time. But he only has unwavering faith in his eyes, rage's belief in protecting the people of Krypton. This punch was still caught by Fang Quan. Terrifying power, through Fang Quan's body, smashed the space behind him into a collapsed state, and the aftermath of the space continued to explode. Looking at his appearance, Fang Quan's heart throbbed inexplicably. You are a good general, but you are not a good patron saint. You are too stubborn. Firm belief shielded his perception and made him ignore other possibilities. General Zod's eyes were tearing. No, I don't believe it. Everything I do is for the people of Krypton. Fang Quan clenched his fist, shook him, and threw him to the ground again, smashing the ground into a big hole, and his voice came to General Zod's ears lightly. But you are extinct, but Clark is alive and healthy. It's now. Health here does not refer to physical health, but mental health. Fang Quan looked at General Zod on the ground with pity. Do you really think that an unchanged civilization can compete with the ever-changing civilization of the universe? General Zod knelt on the ground in despair. His eyes unconsciously looked into the distance, and looked at Clark, the son of Eli. Clark's eyes were extraordinarily complicated, with worry and hatred constantly flickering in his eyes, but most of the time, he looked at himself worriedly. General Zod suddenly burst into tears. He knows that I killed his father, right? Fang Quan fell down slowly, looking at the old general. I knew it from the time he opened the outpost starship. General Zod burst into tears. Why didn't he take revenge? From the moment he landed on the ground, Clark had countless chances to shoot from behind Zod, severely wounding him. But Clark didn't. Fang Quan sighed slightly. Because Eli didn't hate you, never hated you from the beginning to the end. He just thinks that the children need a better future. After Clark knew the news, he hated General Zod instinctively. But on the spaceship, Clark realized that what happened in the previous generation was not a simple dispute of hatred, but a fish of ideas. His father is the chief scientist who guards the Kryptonian civilization. General Zod, the elder, is the military protector who guards Kryptonian civilization. Even knowing that he is the son of the enemy, General Zod is still willing to defend him with his life. General Zod lowered his head and cried bitterly. Everything I do is for the Kryptonian civilization, so is everything I do wrong. Fang Quan stretched out a hand. Have you been happy these years? He is very happy. General Zod broke down in tears and lowered his head deeply. Over the years, he had seen with his own eyes how flawed Kryptonian civilization failed. Countless dilapidated outposts with only wreckage left prove how clever their previous efforts are. Fang Quan said softly. Regarding morality, love is wise, and hate is stupid. Regarding the truth, you need to look at its objective side with your heart. I believe you know that for a child, they need a happy growth environment, or a well-arranged fate. Quote, fate has already marked the price behind everything. A child with love has more powerful power and becomes a god on earth who protects all living beings. A child who lacked love, grew up and died in the outpost. The difference between all these is just whether this child has embraced love when he was a child. Children are the future of civilization. General Zod choked up and said, 10,000 years ago, their great leader was a wild man, ignorant, who broke his leg while exploring. Under the circumstances at that time, breaking a leg and losing mobility was basically equivalent to death. However, his mother did not abandon him, his wife did not abandon him, and his children did not abandon him. 3 months later, the great leader recovered from his injuries and possessed stronger bones. He experienced the metamorphosis of life and death, and led the savages towards tribal civilization. He looked at Fang Quan with tears in his eyes. This is the first story of the ancestors of Krypton. We inherited the guardianship of our ancestors, and the Fry family inherited the hope of our ancestors. But we all forget that it is love, the love that does not give up, and the love that the family hugs together, that makes us great. Quote, at the moment when he saw Clark's clear and pure eyes, he came to his senses and regretted the pain. We have power, but we have abandoned love and lost the most pure faith. Only true love can revive the real Kryptonian civilization. The source of Kryptonian civilization is a story of love and not giving up, a story of an ignorant but loving savage. What they lack has never been power, but love. Fang Quan directly pulled him up. I am very pleased that you can see this. I think you will also be very pleased with the warrior, Ji Qianzhao, who often grows up in love. In good conscience, what made you explode was not hatred or anger, but because you deeply love your race, General. It's not good to be so lenient with yourself and so harsh with your children. Quote, General Zod's injuries were healed by the divine power of the horse charm. General Zod looked moved. I admit defeat, I really don't deserve to take back the race code. Our generation lost. Eli is right, their generation has long since lost. These guys have forgotten the true inheritance of Krypton, so how can they be worthy of holding the inheritance left by their ancestors? The story of a new generation has begun. The task is completed, the number of lucky draws +1. Fang Quan shrugged, beckoned, summoned the race code, and handed over the black gold skull with golden patterns to General Zod. General Zod hugged the racial code with a confused face but hastily and nervously. Fang Quan smiled. I believe your ancestors never blamed you, they were always waiting for you, and left you a sweet home forever. What I read from the racial code is not responsibility, not bondage, but love, but inheritance. The race code belongs to you, but I ask you to submit to me and become a subsidiary of my civilization. General Zod was stunned by the surprise. Then, what do we need to do? Fang Quan shrugged. When I give you a gift, I don't want you to do something for me, but I am looking forward to what you will do for you and your civilization. I admire noble civilizations. You burn your life for your own civilization, ignite your beliefs, and accept the moment that is contrary to your own perception of reality. I approve of you, Zod. You are a great general, an absolutely loyal protector of the people of Krypton. Quote, Zod did what he said, and he really intended to give everything for the star civilization. Such a person should not die, but should live well. In this way, the world will be more exciting. General Zod finally chose to surrender. Not only because he couldn't beat it by force, but also because under Fang Quan's persuasion, he saw another possibility. And rebuilding Krypton is extremely simple. The Shadow Legion has directly conquered some civilizations in the Dark Universe in these years, and some civilizations in the main universe also know about them. Obtaining a resource planet is not a difficult task for Fang Quan, it is just something that his subordinates can solve with a little time. After all, Fang Quan really has the interstellar map presented by the son of the King of the Nine Realms in his hand. General Zod left with the race code and went to the space battleship in outer space. He wants to go back and order to adjust the future development plan, to go to the planet Fang Quan reserved for him, and to revive the Kryptonian civilization. To try another way of development of Kryptonian civilization. Fang Quan raised his head and glanced at the distant spaceship, then looked away. Superman Clark looked at Fang Quan with admiration, and stretched out a hand to gesture. I thought you would convince him by sheer force. Fang Quan shrugged. Although I don't care about morality, I'm not cold-blooded enough to do such a cruel thing to a civilization revivalist who has spent hundreds of years looking for hope. Superman Clark shrugged. Did you forget that he said he was going to declare war on Earth? Fang Quan smiled. Dare he? That's because in the original timeline, there was only you, the naive boy in childhood. Now, this world has me. It's okay for him to listen to the persuasion, but if he doesn't listen to the persuasion, he will be the next Dormammu. Superman Clark was silent for a while, nodded, he dare not. A world crisis has been resolved again. Nick Fury watched the scene in the holographic screen silently, and raised a hand. Hey, King, can the plan you made be cancelled? I don't think I can find an enemy who can fight you. Nick Fury stretched out his hands and pointed to the ruins of the mountains, and explained to the people on the side, hey, do you know what this place used to be called? The Mott Mountains in the suburbs of California. Do you know what this place will be called in the future? Mott Rift. Quote. Fang Quan shrugged. No, I think there are still. Nick Fury pointed at himself. Who? Me. Do you think I'm enough to blow you to death? After seeing such a battle scene, Nick Fury didn't think there would be anyone on this planet who could fight Fang Zong. Fang Quan didn't bother to talk about it. If you tell you to do it, you do it. If you don't do it, I will kill you. Nick Fury had to shut up. I think I am a tool person used by you to find fun. Rose considered another question. King, how should we deal with this matter? Do we need to praise your achievements, or focus on? Fang Quan put his hands in his pockets, with a casual look on his face, reporting the truth. Do you think I need to be praised? Ross. Okay. After one event was over, Fang Quan didn't bother to care about the follow-up, and took the beauties to rest. Soon, this incident was published in the official media of various countries and was widely reported. The King of Darkness has an order to report truthfully. They also play tricks and report truthfully. Some senior officials of major powers have seen how Fang Quan easily abused General Zod. Not to mention Fang Quan, even General Zod or that Superman, with their prior technological weapons, they can't achieve the targeted effect. Facing a super life form with a speed of tens of Machs at every turn, which cannot be broken by thermal weapons, the existing military weapons of human beings are particularly ridiculous. Soon, this matter was on the list of hot searches. Some people thoughtfully added pictures of the battle scene inside. The God in Black is really strong. Look, he convinced the opponent with his fist. Hey, is evolution the strongest mystery? Or is mutant the top understanding of human beings? With the God in Black, our planet is absolutely safe. You say, can the God in Black resist space weapons? I think it can. The body structure and cell structure of the God in Black are beyond our imagination. Ordinary people's biggest opinion of Fang Quan is that the God in Black has once again protected the world and prevented aliens from invading. And some secret organizations against the gods in Black also began to form. In some secret locations, he's too strong, and his existence has threatened our interests. People started to trust him, not us. But there is nothing we can do. Try spreading rumors. Hey, do you really think the Dark Legion of the Black-Clothed God is a flower? The Hydra organization has been lurking in the Eagle Kingdom for so many years. Just because a fool gave a disrespectful nod to the Black-Clothed God in public, the entire organization was banned. Uprooted. The corpses of their leaders were all scum, and they couldn't even be swept up. The tragedy of Hydra was in front of them, and no one dared to be malicious to the Black-Clothed God in public. CEAA, then what should we do? Let him take away our interests. His existence is a threat. A middle-aged strong man wearing a ring sneered. With the lifespan of a God in Black, he may have existed for thousands of years, and he doesn't bother to care about us ants. I thought you could come up with something meaningful. Unexpectedly, you are nothing more than a group of terrified ants gathered together to keep warm. A man dressed as a believer sitting in the dark rage, Kimpin. You don't know anything about this world. Jin dismissively said, I think you don't know anything about the Black-Clothed God. As a king with minions all over the world's underground dark system, he knows the Black-Clothed God better than others. For the sake of fun, the God in Black would send a dark army to another planet to destroy another race. After killing the other race to the point of extinction, they lazily withdraw their troops and go home. But in the eyes of the Black-Clothed God, all of this is just fun. If it was changed to Wuchang, it would be crazy to find a planet that can be occupied. What kind of god would not care about the gains and losses of a planet? Naturally, he is a god with countless planets, so he doesn't care about the gains and losses of a mere planet. Do multimillionaires still care about a dollar on the ground? It's ridiculous for a group of ants to try to guess the thoughts of the high gods. HMPH, Jin Bing, don't think that in this world, only the god in black is immortal. Under the throne of my god, there are also immortal knights. Jin didn't bother to snort, got up and left directly leaning on the golden crutches. You're kidding your old mother. Or let your gods take down a planet, have fun slaughtering billions of lives, and when they get bored, throw it away. If your god can do this, maybe I, Jin, can still stand and watch. Jin Bing's departure lowered the atmosphere of the secret meeting by half. The invincibility of the black-clothed god has already been posted on their faces. Even if they don't recognize it, they must recognize it. Why don't you try Dormammu? The purple-black alien from last time is His Royal Highness Dormammu from the Dark Dimension. Someone directly laughed. Do you also want to be thrown into the sun? The voice fell to the ground, and the atmosphere was once again awkward. Enough, I'm going to see my god, you stupid mortals. Rebuked Jin Bin's follower rage, threw up his sleeves and left. All the people present were well-known figures, and no one was angry. Everyone knew that this was impossible. Resisting the god of black clothes is a wishful thinking. In other words, they just want to find a way to survive before the order of the god of black clothes comes. Although the black-clothed god did not promote his order, with the increase in his activities, all living beings instinctively began to interpret the thoughts of the black-clothed god, trying to understand this great existence. Some organizations formed spontaneously, even if the god in black personally sent the Dark Legion to clean up some organizations that were messing around in his name. But for those organizations that offered their loyalty to the god in black, the Dark Legion did not target them, and even protected them in some cases. A sigh sounded. No matter what we think now, we have to face the advent of the Order of the Black-Clothed Gods, and the era of the Black-Clothed Gods has come. These mortals, what ability and qualification do they have to block the footsteps of a god? How about, let's discuss the Order of the Black-Clothed Gods, right? I think it's easier for us to make a lot of money if we figure this out. I agree. Seconded. After a half-hour arduous verbal crusade against the black-clothed god, the secret organization meeting quickly turned into an in-depth study of what the black-clothed god's order is. The dark believers knelt in front of the statue of the Lord of Hell, and reported devoutly, "My God, as the number of activities of the black-clothed god increases, his power becomes stronger and stronger. Please send down your will and guide the lost lamb." Quote. Now, the days of these believers of the forces of hell are getting more and more difficult. Everyone is more willing to serve the belief of the black god sect. With the powerful belief of the black god, they can occasionally summon black shadow warriors to protect them. The efficiency of hell's power to attract believers has dropped significantly, especially after the black-clothed god has protected the world many times. The eyes of the statue of Mo Faith, the Lord of Hell, glowed slightly red. No matter what, I must try, and I will send a Hell Knight to test him. The dark believer knelt on the ground and smiled wryly. My God, this subordinate is not questioning you. But the power of the god in black is too powerful. This is the video I found. The dark believer hurriedly took out his mobile phone and played the video of how Fang Quan beat General Zod. Ink Faith, the Lord of Hell, silently watched the whole video, and felt really hurt. You can bestow the power of light on an alien with your bare hands, turn it into a super life form, and then play violently. So, although this guy claims to be the King of Darkness, King Mephisto, he is actually a god king who has mastered the power of the sun. There are 100,000 mud horses running wildly in Mo Faith's heart. I thought everyone was a colleague who digs their hearts and lungs, but I didn't expect that you, who kills without blinking an eye, are actually the king of gods. The dark believer raised his head blankly. Huh. Mo Faith almost had the word speechless engraved on his face now. The more all beings believe in him, the more powerful they will be. Why? The dark believer was even more dumbfounded. But, now. Mo Faith's eyes emitted a strange red light. I will send another Hell Knight, and he will complete the task. You prepare my body that descended into the world. This time, he decided to borrow a knife to kill someone. Under him, there is a Hell Knight who is not very obedient. But because the Hell Knight's supreme authority is with God, he cannot destroy him. But now, maybe with the help of the power of the black-clothed god, he can be destroyed. Johnny Blazer, Ghost Rider, this time it's your turn. Fang Quan was playing with Ancient One, suddenly stopped his movements, and raised his head to look at the sky in surprise. The beauty of Ancient One blushed and put her arms around his neck. Why did you stop? I'm not happy yet. Fang Quan looked through the space-time barrier and looked at the surface of the sun, with a speechless expression. Dormammu has gone back. The beauty of Ancient One rolled her eyes in dissatisfaction. Isn't it normal for him to go back? You are too lazy to spend too much time to kill him. He is a majestic master of darkness, and it will be a matter of time before he goes back. Fang Quan clicked his tongue. He blew up his lower body, and with the support given to him by the dark dimension, he managed to go back. From the perspective of a man alone, Dormammu is still a bit of a wolf. The beauty from Ancient One sat up, her navel-bearing dress slipped off, she was slightly surprised. He is so cruel. Fang Quan admired. However, in a short time, he definitely doesn't want to come to Blue Star. The Ancient One beauty hooked his neck with both hands. Okay, ignore that guy, let's continue. Fang Quan held her slender wrist and looked at the task box that popped up in front of him. Am I being too high profile recently? Or am I not showing enough strength? Why does Faith, the Lord of Hell, follow me? Challenge mission. Defeat the Ghost Rider Johnny Blazer, who is a combination of Zatannos, Spirit of Vengeance and Medal of Strength sent by Mo Faith. Task reward. Number of draws +1. Look at this series of prefixes. Faith motto is a ruthless hand. The beauty of Ancient One was puzzled. Why is he staring at you? He will stay in hell for the rest of his life, feeding on souls. Puzzled. Fang Quan also looked curious. Yeah, he couldn't be interested in my soul, could he? Then he must be out of his mind. Ancient One was also full of question marks. Although I have fought against Faith for nearly 1,000 years, I really can't understand his behavior now. Can you predict the future? Fang Quan stroked his chin. He sent a man named Zatannos with the prefix of strengthening. Ancient One speechlessly interrupted Fang Quan. Johnny Blazer. Fang Quan snorted slightly. You know. Ancient One is even more speechless. For thousands of years, Mo Faith and Zatannos have been fighting continuously, and Zatannos was finally defeated. However, Zatannos is an immortal existence, and Mo Faith we can only use various methods to limit him and try to control his power. Johnny Blazer is Mer Faith's latest work. But, Mer Faith is playing off. Johnny Blazer, who was planted by the great angel Randy Keel for the introduction of the Holy Light, is now in a state of half-breaking free from Mo Faith's grip. Now every time Mo Faith orders, he is consuming the power of the contract. When the power consumption of the contract is over, Johnny Blazer will become the real Ghost Rider, God's punishment weapon. Ancient One couldn't help laughing again. Guess, after Johnny Blazer broke free, what is the thing he wants to do the most? Fang Quan also laughed. Naturally, I'm looking for the old club to dig out my heart and soul, and destroy all the achievements of the old club at all costs. Johnny Blazer flipped through the sacred book in his hand, frowning. During these years, he has been constantly searching for magic secrets, but he has found some real secrets, and he has also trained a certain amount of hellfire magic and fire magic in the main world. However, just relying on the secrets of magic that he understands is not enough to lift his own curse. After really understanding these, Johnny Blazer realized how stupid things he had done. He actually signed a soul contract with Faith, the Lord of Hell. Fact. Johnny Blazer couldn't help the rage in his heart. He closed the book forcefully, his eyes were full of anger, and flames began to burst out of his hands unconsciously. Johnny Blazer hurriedly dropped the book, controlled his mood swings, and absorbed the fire element into his body. Looking at the slightly scorched pages of the book cover, Johnny Blazer really felt like a dog. Because after I signed the contract with the devil, I signed a contract with the big angel Randy Keel, guaranteeing that I will not die. Now, I have to collect evil spirits for the demons, and also collect good spirits for Angel. Ghost Rider at night, good spirit night during the day. Mada, there is no overtime pay. The machine tools in the factory will cry when they look at them. The bosses are playing games with each other, but I can only survive in the cracks. Johnny. Johnny Blazer rage glared at the figure emerging in the living room, and decisively picked up the holy water beside the seat. Mo Faith, get out of here. Mo Faith's human form slowly emerged, holding a scepter. He sneered, why, you want to expel me with holy water? Do you really think that Dagir is a person who can be trusted? As a big angel, he clearly treats me. You can sit back and enjoy it in heaven, but let you, a mortal, work hard to collect souls for him. Don't you think there is a problem? Johnny Blazer definitely knew it was a problem. After what he experienced in Fiend's Covenant, he had already become a person who couldn't rub the sand in his eyes. But both Faith and Randkill gave way too much. Moto Faith guaranteed his own immortality. Randkill guaranteed his magical attainments and the safety of his soul. Johnny Blazer could only put up with the desert in front of his eyes as he endured it. No way, you pay 300 yuan a month, and I can't rub the sand in my eyes. But these two bosses gave him 3 million yuan a month, and Johnny Blazer felt that he could need the next desert. Now, with the blessings of Mo Faith and Randkill, he has become a stunt motorcycle tail worth tens of millions. Johnny Blazer insisted. That's better than being devoured by you. With the angel contract, you can no longer take away my soul. Mo Faith snorted dissatisfiedly. After Angel Randkill intervened, this matter was indeed out of his control, but it was not completely out of control. I don't want to waste time with you, Johnny, this time I need let you kill someone. Johnny Blazer felt his scalp tingling and felt that Fiend's Covenant was taking effect at the soul level. However, as long as he can resist one more time, the effectiveness of Fiend's Covenant will become weaker and weaker. He couldn't help showing a proud face. Mo Faith, after you order me this time, how much power will Fiend's Covenant have left? Next time, will you have to rely on me? Ha 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 ha. Mo Faith also laughed. Don't worry, you won't have a next time, ha 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 ha. Johnny Blazer laughed loudly. You have a way to release my angel contract. Ha ha ha, you can only watch me regain my freedom. Mo Faith smiled evilly. No, I mean you won't survive the next time. Johnny Blazer's smile disappeared instantly. No, Ghost Rider is immortal, are you scaring me? Mo Faith likes to cheat, but never to play. What does this guy want to do? Mo Faith looked at the powerful knight who loves and hates in front of him, and grinned. Laugh, why don't you laugh anymore? Aren't you very rampant just now? I still like your unruly look just now, why don't you recover? Little human beings, fight with me, do you deserve it too? Johnny Blazer panicked. Who do you want me to kill? Mo Faith laughed and dispersed. Fang Quan, the god of black clothes. I want you to kill Fang Quan, the god of black clothes. The moment you die, even if your soul does not belong to me, the power that belongs to me will return according to the contract. Johnny Blazer, you stupid mortal, I will make you suffer. Johnny Blazer's entire body instantly petrified, his figure was extremely pale and lost his brilliance. Fang Quan, the god in black, is this god I can beat? Mo Faith asked you to be killed. You asked me to kill God. Johnny Blazer didn't care about other things. He hurriedly drank the holy water to suppress the hell power that was about to erupt in his body, ran to the holy angel statue Randkill and summoned with his hands together. In less than 3 seconds, the statue of Randkill revealed the holy light. Johnny, what did you call me for? Did Faith come? Johnny Blazer's mother sells loot trees. Big angel, Faith wants me to die. Randkill laughed out loud. Since you signed the contract with me, didn't he want you to die that time? Look at what you're saying, it's like Moto Faith wants you to live. Johnny Blazer was dumbfounded. He really wanted me to die this time. Randkill laughed loudly. Even if he doesn't intend to protect your immortality according to the contract, I will protect you from death, not to mention, you are a knight with the characteristics of hell and heaven, and you can resurrect yourself. He, Faith, can still be stronger than God, can he change the rules against God's order? Is knight resurrection the rule, death? Ordinary people who don't know the truth really like to joke. Thinking of this, Randkill couldn't help laughing a few more times, feeling that Johnny Blazer was thinking too much because of fear. Johnny Blazer was about to cry, but this time he asked me to kill the god of black Fang Quan. However, Dekil's laughter stopped abruptly, as if his throat was choked. Next second, what? This fool told you to kill King Mephisto. Randigir was shocked and rage, never thought that Moto Faith could do such an unlimited thing. This Lord of Hell is simply shameless. This command can also be exported. King Mephisto is a strong man who can stand side by side with the Lord of Heaven. Why don't you just assassinate King Angel? I really overestimated the bottom line of you idiot. Johnny Blazer was dumbfounded. So, will I come back alive? Although Johnny Blazer doesn't know this black-clothed god very well, but from the discussion of everyone around him, he still has something in his heart. Let's just say that immortality is immortality, but being thrown into the sun, this immortality is no different from repeated death. Randkill fell into silence, unable to speak for a long time. This is really not guaranteed. I stood in front of him by myself, and I couldn't even guarantee that I could walk away on 2 legs. Johnny Blazer was shocked and angry. Why are you so silent? Didn't you say you were very sure? Randkill hesitated and said, how about, you die now? I seized the opportunity to tear your soul apart. I explained in advance that I can only save half of your soul, and the rest half have to give Black Faith Wong. Johnny Blazer raged. So what is the difference between you and killing me? Randkill answered seriously, there is a difference. Compared with the tearing of the soul, death is too easy and has a face. The tearing of the soul is very miserable. You will never be reborn, and you will always be a lonely ghost, will always become a background soul noise in nature, and will never be able to become any living thing. You see, how obvious the difference is. Soul tearing is much worse than killing you. Johnny Blazer was so angry that he picked up the parchment scroll and prepared to tear it apart. The explanation is very good. Don't explain it to me next time. Mad, I'm going to expel your dog Angel. You are not a good thing either. Randkill hurriedly consoled. Mortal. Enough is enough. I really can't guarantee this. Johnny Blazer glared at Randkill, wanting a fully reasonable explanation. Randkill considered the vocabulary that can be understood by mortals, and explained, the black-clothed god in your mouth is accurately defined by us as the King of Time and Space Mephisto, out one. It may not be easy for you to understand when I say this, so let me put it another way. You know that when I meet King Angel, I need to kneel down and salute, right? Quote. Johnny Blazer raised his eyebrows, and then, Randkill lowered his voice slightly. Strictly speaking, if I see King Mephisto without hostility, I have to kneel down. Johnny Blazer. What happens if you don't kneel? Randkill. The last one who disrespected King Mephisto was called Dormammu, the one you call the purple-black alien. He is Mephisto, the ruler of the Dark Empire in the Dark Universe, and he has bathed in the sun. Quote. No one will remember a loser, except Dormammu. Without him, the embarrassment of Dormammu is enough to discuss for thousands of years. Mephisto, the dignified ruler of the Dark Cosmos Dark Empire, entered Blue Star, was unilaterally suppressed and beaten, and spent all his strength on beatings, and was thrown into the sun to take a bath. What kind of character is Dormammu? A strong dark Mephisto who can corrupt several planets just by yawning on weekdays. The result, look how flat it is lying now. If King Mephisto didn't have much interest in him, all the powerhouses in the 10 realms firmly believed that King Mephisto would definitely be able to knock Dormammu down to the eternal level. Eternal level will not die, but as long as you are beaten to the bottom, you will not die. The word, immortality, depends on who you say it in front of. Johnny Blazer was dumbfounded. I know he's strong, but isn't that too strong? Randkill added helplessly. You may not be familiar with Dormammu, but you always know about Odin, right? Odin, the god king of the Nordic pantheon, will treat him politely when he sees him. In front of such a strong person, the word, immortality, may be just 2 words, it has no practical effect. Johnny Blazer was going crazy, and the power of hell in his body was getting stronger and stronger. What should I do now? The statue of Randkill exudes a helpless holy light. What should I do? You ask me, how do I know? Even if I stand in front of him, I dare not be presumptuous. Johnny Blazer was furious, and Setsuna's whole body was ignited with hellfire, turning into Ghost Rider. After Ghost Rider completed the transformation, the majestic hellfire eyes glanced at Randkill. Angel, you lost. Randkill looked at him speechlessly. It doesn't matter if I lose, but I think you have to save your own life first. Well, I guess you can't hear me anymore in this state, forget it, that's it. Good luck. I hope you can hold on until morning, so I might be able to save you a bit. Quote. However, there is little hope. King Mephisto can kill Johnny Blazer with one finger. The spirit of vengeance is an indestructible punishment weapon created by God, but God is far away in the sky now, and cannot bless Hannibras. But he has to face a strong man at the level of a god king. Hey, it's over. The holy light on the statue of Randakil dissipated. Ghost Rider looked at the full moon outside. His majestic fire eyes were extremely firm. The pursuit of Fang Quan, the black-clothed god, begins. Fang Quan's spiritual sense was touched. He stretched, and sat up lazily. The Ancient One Beauty lay on the bed, revealing her snow-white tender back, and hummed hazily, "What's wrong?" Fang Quan snapped his fingers, and several shadowy soldiers appeared and began to wait for him to change his clothes. "Johnny is coming, I'll go and have a look, I'm still very interested in him, it suits my appetite." The beauty of Ancient One was exhausted and her voice was soft. "Go early and come back early, an ordinary person, no effort." Fang Quan stroked her cheek and said with a light smile, "Okay." Fang Quan got out of bed, stepped out, and arrived at the gate of the Dark Palace. The Dark Throne had also been moved by the Shadow Soldiers. Fang Quan habitually sat on the Dark Throne, waiting for the guests to see him. This is his habit, his way of hospitality, and the rules he has set for himself. As a person, you have to live a little bit of order, so that you can feel at ease in your heart. The three shadow leaders came out of the darkness together and stood silently behind the king, waiting for the king's order. In less than 10 minutes, Ghost Rider came riding a flame motorcycle chariot, wearing a black nail suit, and looked like a skeleton man burned by red hellfire. Ghost Rider got off the chariot, holding a shotgun, and walked over with extraordinary momentum. The three shadow leaders were slightly upset, and wanted to subdue this mortal together. Fang Quan lazily raised his hand, and the three black shadow leaders stopped in unison, and once again stood behind the king to remain silent. Ghost Rider saw Fang Quan, with a grin on his skull face. "Fang Quan, the black-clothed god, your time of death has arrived." Fang Quan was taken aback when he heard that. "When will I die?" The three shadow leaders were also dumbfounded, and looked at each other, seeing full puzzlement in each other's eyes. "My king is quite low-key, but he's not so low-key that other people think he's inexperienced, right?" Ghost Rider roared. "Your hands are covered with the blood of innocent people, die." Quote. "I love to kill, but when have I ever killed an innocent?" Fang Quan was stunned by the question, and couldn't help recalling the past when he killed the killer. Confirmed memory, "I did not kill innocent people by mistake." Ghost Rider rage rushed over. The three shadow leaders were furious and wanted to attack. Fang Quan told them to retreat. Fang Quan was curious about what tricks Ghost Rider could play. Ghost Rider frantically grabbed Fang Quan's shoulders. Hellfire looked into Fang Quan's eyes, and roared, "Sinners, accept the punishment of Eye of Judgment, I want you to feel the wailing of innocence." Eye of Judgment is the core skill of Ghost Rider, or Ghost Rider. It is a divine skill in the literal sense, a divine skill bestowed by God himself, an absolute power capable of judging all living beings, and a divine skill with a very high authority level in the rule class. Eye of Judgment is launched, allowing sinners to accept the fairest and most just punishment in the world. Ghost Rider was the first to see Fang Quan ordering his subordinates to kill ordinary people, and stared at them when they were killed. "You let your subordinates kill anti-social organization members. You are innocent. The 10 rings are wasted, well done." Ghost Rider next saw Fang Quan kill the satanic armor King Obadiah Stanislav. "You killed the evil leader who smuggled arms to the anti-human organization. You are not guilty. This one is wasted too. No need to wash it." Next, Ghost Rider saw Fang Quan kill a congressman in public, and his spirit was shaken. "This should never be washed. You killed the senator in public, what the hell is that? What Hydra rubbish, let me kill." Ghost Rider is so angry that hell is raging, this gang of 363 worms that corrupt the world. Ghost Rider looked down further and saw several alien gods killed. This doesn't have to be washed. These guys are indeed dark forces. You are innocent. Ghost Rider's tone began to be unconfident. Why did this person kill all unruly people, gods and demons? With a hesitant heart, Ghost Rider saw the massacre involving billions of living beings. His spirit was shocked, and he took a closer look. Made. The battle of civilizations, well done. This doesn't have to be washed away. In the war of civilized races, is it possible for the other party to massacre their own people? Ghost Rider looked around carefully, and pressed Fang Quan's shoulder dumbfounded. You are innocent. Why don't you have even a little crime? In a sense, the black-clothed god leading the dark army in front of him is more disciplined than any good guy. Eye of Judgment didn't find any problems in a daze. When facing beauties, he spends money generously, making them willing to have love with him, and even willing to cooperate with some unusual operations. Even, from the perspective of Eye of Judgment, this is still a great guy. Because just one day ago, the god in black saved a Kryptonian civilization that was about to become extinct. He also protected the overall stability of the Blue Star civilization to a certain extent. Fang Quan was surprised. Why should I do something I don't like? I don't like chaos, you have to understand the text. Ghost Rider was dumbfounded. Ah. Grass. This is actually a good person. Fang Quan asked curiously, any other skills? Ghost Rider was stunned. No. Fang Quan snorted, then how much strength can you withstand? Ghost Rider swallowed hellfire. After the failure of Eye of Judgment, the coercive effect of Fiend's Covenant faded by half, and reason is returning to his mind. Your Majesty in Black, can I explain? Is it Moto's curse that compels me to attack you? Am I innocent? Johnny Blazer's soul is gradually waking up, gradually taking control. However, there was something wrong with how he was sober now. What did Randy Keel say? I can't stand King Mephisto's attack by myself. Fang Quan smiled and stood up. It's okay, we can try. Ghost Rider almost cried, his voice choked with sobs. God in Black, is it too late for me to admit defeat? There is a wrong and a debt. You can go and kill Mo Faith, I am a cursed poor man. Mo Faith, you. Fang Quan kindly patted his black nail suit and smiled. You have to work hard, you are the one who bears Zatanna's Spirit of Vengeance, Fiend's Covenant, Angel Contract, and Medal of Strength. Ghost Rider trembled slightly, feeling the huge power contained in this palm through a layer of clothes. 10 kinds of time and space all around are followed by a slight trembling, an illusion of extreme panic. As the black-clothed god moved his hands and feet, a super element of extremely high density was moving with his will and body. Ghost Rider hurriedly shouted, No! I surrender. Fang Quan sneered. Why didn't you shout when you launched Eye of Judgment on me? Crawl for me. Fang Quan definitely didn't mind Johnny Blazer's little rudeness to him, and he knew very well that it was caused by Moto's curse on him. But, it's really cool to hang Ghost Rider. Fang Quan shattered Ghost Rider's arms with a shock arm, and Ghost Rider himself was hit by a powerful force and was forced to take off. Ghost Rider let out a cry of pain, feeling the extreme pain of crushing his arms. It's really not the right time for me to wake up. If I knew it earlier, I wouldn't fight for control. In the state of Ghost Rider, Johnny is greatly influenced by the Spirit of Vengeance, and his thoughts and behaviors will be dominated by the Spirit of Vengeance, turning him into a knight who punishes the wicked. In the state of the Good Spirit Knight, Johnny is greatly influenced by the Angel Contract. He can be called a good man who protects good people and becomes a guardian knight of kindness and justice. And in the different states of the two, I will have two completely different skill systems. But, how the hell can I beat King Mephisto? Mo Faith, you're wasted. Johnny Blazer never imagined that faith would ruin this virtue. Fang Quan watched as Ghost Rider turned into a bolide and flew into the sky, then screamed, struggled, and wailed in midair, and then fell heavily on the ground. The hell sparks splashed all over the ground, and the bones were about to fall. It fell apart. Ghost Rider groaned in pain. His arms had been automatically repaired by hellfire. He struggled to get up, and saw the smiling Fang Quan when he looked up. King Mephisto is innocent, but he really has no conscience, no sense of public morality. Ghost Rider turned around and ran without any hesitation. How long would it be if he didn't run at this time? Wait for King Mephisto to catch up with him, then ravage him, and study his own immortality. Fang Quan clicked his tongue, stepped on his feet, and directly reversed the space in front of Ghost Rider, changing the direction to himself. Ghost Rider only felt a charge, passed through a layer of invisible space, and came in front of King Mephisto. Ghost Rider cried bitterly. I'm just a weak, helpless, and unable to fight Ghost Rider, can you let me go? I, Johnny Blaze, are just an undead Ghost Rider, and my combat power is really bad. Fang Quan held his burning shoulders and smiled brightly. Believe me, you are stronger than you think. Boom. This time, Zhongxi directly ignited Ghost Rider with the power of the sun. Ghost Rider immediately turned into a pillar of fire, exuding a beautiful and brilliant white light all over his body. He, who already had extremely rich reserves of fire elements, became the best fuel skeleton. Ah, I'm so weak. Ghost Rider rolled all over the ground in pain, frantically looking for water sources, and saw an artificial lake not far away that happened to be renovated not long ago, and crawled over with crazy hands and feet, using unimaginable human postures, quickly crawled into the artificial lake in the lake. Fang Quan was stunned for a moment. This kid still has some skills. The water source in the artificial lake was instantly evaporated, but it also successfully reduced the solar fire pillar on Ghost Rider's body to a certain extent. Fang Quan didn't do anything ruthless in the first place, he just ignited his own fire element. On the edge of the artificial lake, a scorched skeleton's palm rested on it, tremblingly dragging the scorched skeleton's body up. The clothes and pants all over his body had already turned into fly ash. The hellfire all over Ghost Rider's body was extinguished, and there were only 2 red flames in the eye sockets, and black smoke spewed out from the eye sockets from time to time. Ghost Rider climbed up, trembling all over, and knelt down on the ground with a thud, feeling that the knight's life was hopeless. Immortality is immortality, but it feels really useless in front of King Mephisto. King Mephisto just had a playful attitude, and he felt that he had died several times. Fang Quan was a little surprised. Don't you know that you have the power of Zatanos in your body? That is an ancient demon and the power level of me faith is about the same. Ghost Rider almost cried. What Zatanos? I only know that I signed a contract with the devil and angel, and I can ignite magic. I really appreciate your explanation. But I'm just an ordinary mortal, why are you so cruel? Fang Quan was shocked. You don't know. Ghost Rider was even more shocked and cried. What should I know? You big guys fight, what can I, an ordinary person, know? Know that I can choose to die, or my soul die in too. Isn't this the only difference between death and death? After Fang Quan was surprised, he explained, I think you, between life and death, can absorb the power of Zatanos and master his demon duties. Ghost Rider burst into tears. I can't. Why don't you see what you're talking about? You let me absorb the power of a demon of the same level as Modo Faith. Are you crazy or am I crazy? Fang Quan laughed loudly. It's okay, just take it easy, if you can't master it, then you can only die. A pair of laser beams hit Ghost Rider's charred skull in the next instant. Ghost Rider screamed in pain. The scorched black skull was pierced directly, and fell to the sky. Fang Quan walked in front of him, looked down at the skeleton man who had no flame aura. Don't pretend to be dead, I have controlled my strength, and I haven't reached the level to destroy your own rules. Ghost Rider fell into a coma, and his soul stood on a huge boundless sea, which was as calm as a mirror. A distant voice came slowly. Johnny Blazer's scalp was numb. The last thing he wanted to hear in his life was this kind of calling sound that seemed to come from outside. Every time he heard this kind of sound, he would always die miserably. Johnny Blazer sighed helplessly, reassuring himself that he could not live in fear. After the mood was acceptable, Johnny Blazer's helpless directional voice came. It is a metal the size of a palm, and the mysterious light of the soul is slowly exuding from it. Johnny Blazer surprised. Noble soul. Why is this ancient and noble soul in front of me? We are the Blood Clan, an ancient race ordered to protect the Metal of Strength. Once, we beat Faith and Zatanos many times. Back. Forget it, I will tell you this story next time. Now you hear the point. Quote. Johnny Blazer hastily listened intently. Extremely powerful power and a part of Zatanos' power are sealed in the Metal of Strength. Now, in order to keep you alive, we are willing to let you temporarily use the Metal of Strength. Power, including a portion of Zatanos' power. Quote. Johnny Blazer shocked. What is Zatanos? The one on the same level as Modo Faith. I really have a father sealed inside me. You're almost dead and still asking so many questions. Do you know what you will do after gaining power? Johnny Blazer came to the spirit. I can temporarily wrestle with King Mephisto. Is it qualified to negotiate peace? Do you really want to eat farts? After you get the power, immediately, run to us. Although we don't know the current situation in the outside world, we don't think a God King powerhouse will be shaken by this little guy like you. Quote. The souls of the Blood Clan expressed Johnny Blazer's thoughts. Children really think too much. If the Medal of Mastery of Power can defeat the God King class, why do you think we have become the souls of the Blood Clan now? Because like being a soul. Johnny Blazer's mother sells loquat trees in his heart, but he still has to agree with this point of view. Okay, remember, run immediately after integrating, don't hesitate, you won't be able to escape even if you have even the slightest hesitation. Fang Quan was observing curiously, and saw Johnny Blazer's soul metamorphosis, integrating a power that he had never seen before. Hey, is it a demon, or an angel, or a vengeful spirit? Boom! Suddenly, powerful hellfire spewed out from the scorched black skull, covering Fang Quan's face and blocking his sight. Fang Quan only felt that the ground was empty, and he stretched out his hand to grab it, but the palm fell into the air, and within the range of mental perception, a figure was turning into flames and flying into the sky. Fang Quan looked up to the sky in a little surprise, and saw that Ghost Rider had turned into the elemental form of hellfire, but the strength of the whole person suddenly increased by several levels. It's a bit devilish, but it's more of a pure power. Is it a medal of strength? This kid can really integrate. Fang Quan quickly showed a smile. It seems that if you force Johnny Blazer to death, you can still force some interesting things. I just don't know if Johnny Blazer, who has integrated multiple powers, will become a god knight. Interesting to try. Fang Quan showed a playful smile, and snapped his fingers. Johnny, you still said you don't know martial arts. Oh, no, you still say you don't know how to integrate. The space in front of Ghost Rider was distorted again, appearing directly in front of Fang Quan. Ghost Rider clenched his fists and screamed in pain. No. I really don't know how to integrate. He felt Dormammu's despair. This is really impossible to fight, and running. Am I going to get the Dormammu treatment too? Fang Quan's eyes swept away, and he had already seen his current integration progress. Not bad, although you are still a little rusty, most of the power has been wasted, but you have mastered the rough integrate ability. While talking, Fang Quan stretched out his hand and pressed Ghost Rider's scorched forehead. Ghost Rider wanted to cry, but his scorched skull forehead was trembling slightly. Boss, I really can't do it, I know myself very well. Fang Quan laughed. No, your energy is beyond your imagination. Come on, as the saying goes, an immortal touches your head and grants you longevity. Quote. Ghost Rider's skull exploded in an instant, and the power of the Medal of Power exploded violently, releasing endless hellfire gushing out, reaching the sky. It has to be said that the power of the Medal of Strength is indeed powerful and pure, and it can greatly increase the power of a living body. Pity, it is still Fang Quan's plaything. Fang Quan curiously observed the scorched black skeleton man whose body was trembling crazily. This time, he finally felt the soul wave of hope, and saw the inner changes of Johnny Blazer's soul more clearly. Johnny Blazer sat on the ocean of souls, silently looking at the souls of the Blood Clan. All the souls of the Blood Clan looked at Johnny Blazer silently. Everyone was silent. The souls of the Blood Clan tried to encourage them. Anyway, you are immortal, why don't you go out and try again? Johnny Blazer looked at them like idiots. Would you like to experience your own head exploding? The souls of the Blood Clan were very helpless. You are too weak, and you can't even carry the Medal of Strength. Johnny Blazer sneered. You can do what you want. I would really like to let you control my body. All the souls of the Blood Clan shook their heads like drums. No, let's talk about it. Just kidding, the Medallion of Strength is poured into it, and you're all lying so flat. If we were to go up, it would be nothing more than changing a trick and getting headshots. Johnny Blazer felt the pain. Is there anything else you can do? Don't hide it. I'm afraid that if I die a few more times, I won't be able to hold on myself. It is true that the body is immortal, but every death torture is extremely painful, and Chang Blazer is not sure whether he will have a mental breakdown or a soul breakdown. All the souls of the Blood Clan look at me and I look at you, and can only say helplessly, there is a way, but we are not sure how harmful it will be to you. How should I put it? This is equivalent to asking you to choose whether to die today or tomorrow. Quote. Johnny Blazer's tone was calm. Although I hate demons and angels very much, and even I am wary of you guys who pop up out of nowhere. But I still like to hunt down those evil spirits and protect them. The life of those good spirits. How to put it, if I have a choice, I still like to be a ghost rider or a good spirit knight. Even if it's just an extra day. I have a reason to want to live, please help me, no matter what the cost. Quote. The Souls of the Blood clan saw another answer. You are telling the truth, but you only told half of it. So, who is that girl? Johnny Blazer felt upset, and curled his lips. Roseanne, my beloved girl. I have missed her youth for 4 full years, and I don't want to miss it again. Whatever it is, you all use it, I'm going to have dinner with her tonight. Souls of the Blood clan, okay. Before you accept these powers, let us make it clear that once you accept these powers, you will not be able to run away. You must face King Mephisto. Even if you can't beat him, you can no longer be discouraged. Whether it is the power of Zatanos that we are about to instill in you, or the power of Randakil in the angel contract, the strength of these strong people has integrated their courage and spirit to face the whole world. Once you escape, not only will you not be able to become a strong man for the rest of your life, but you will also be backlashed by these two forces. Quote. Johnny Blazer couldn't help complaining that Randakil said he would kneel when he saw King Mephisto. Souls of the Blood clan. However, if King Mephisto conflicts with heaven, Zandakir will not take a step back, he will stand in front of all the angels and unswervingly protect the entire heaven. Even if he knew he was going to die. This is the belief and spirit of the strong. Quote. Johnny Blazer was silent, never expecting that old fool to have such a tough side. Remember, you only have one chance, and if you fail, you will be lost forever. It is good. Quote. Fang Quan just stared at a Setsuna, and saw that Johnny Blaze's soul merged with more power again. The power integrated this time is very recognizable, it is the power of the demons Zatanos and angels Zandkil. The power of the former is very strong, while the latter is only a part of the power of the big angel. Ghost Rider's head quickly recovered, and his whole body became flawless again, and the hellfire on his body became the fire of the devil. In other words, it shouldn't be called Ghost Rider now, but the Devil Knight. The Devil Knight calmly stared at the Mephisto King in front of him, trying to maintain his courage and spirit, but the soul fire in his body trembled slightly due to the terrifying coercion of the Dark King. Randakil's estimate of King Mephisto is still a bit shallow. Every time I get stronger, I realize that it is impossible for me to surpass this endless mountain in front of me. The stronger it is, the more it can feel the bad sky of Mephisto Wang Wanshi. The Devil Knight calmly drew the sword of hell. I know I will lose, but I want to win, and I want to have dinner with Roseanne tonight. Fang Quan appreciated this very much, with a kind smile. Then use all your strength to kill me, maybe I will let you go. Devil Knight. No, I won't beg you, I will win the right to live by myself. Fang Quan appreciated it even more, and directly punched him. The devil flame in the head of the Devil Knight ignited wildly, and the sword of hell blocked it. Boom. The power of the darkest and the power of the devil collided, and the Knight of the Devil turned into a dark meteor and exploded, leaving a long flame gully on the ground, which appeared more than 1,000 meters away in the blink of an eye. The Devil Knight reacted as quickly as possible, thrusting the sword of hell into the space, cutting the space along the way, pulling out a long river of silver-white space until the figure stopped. The Devil Knight breathed a sigh of relief. This time the result was fine, he was able to react, and his bones did not explode on the spot. Fang Quan appeared in front of him in an instant, punched him, and asked curiously, "What are you distracted by?" Boom. The entire skeleton of the Devil Knight was so stupid, he raised the sword of hell to block like lightning, but felt that the sword of hell did not feel right in the hand, so Huo Sleep subconsciously looked at the sword. The sword is crooked. The sword of hell has been cracked, and the blade is skewed, obviously unable to withstand King Mephisto's attack. Boom. Crack. The sword of hell was hit by a powerful force, and the blade exploded instantly. Countless hell iron fragments exploded, and even penetrated into the white skull and body skeleton of the Devil Knight. The Devil Knight also became a part of the explosive and was blown away again. This time, the Devil Knight could only desperately grasp the space with his hands, and desperately stopped his figure. His hands scraped out sparks in the space, and the entire skeleton turned into a big fireball with tail flames. Boom! The Devil Knight crashed into the forest, and the ultra-high temperature flames emitted by him directly ignited all the places he hit along the way. In just 2 seconds, a huge road of flames was formed, and the forest began to ignite. The Devil Knight struggled to get up, feeling outrageous. Blood souls, are you sure? You can't even run. But if Dekil didn't run away, I reluctantly recognized him. I recognized him as a man. But I use the power of Zatanos, why doesn't this big devil run away? The voice of the Blood Souls resounded helplessly in his mind, because Zatanos is a devil-level undead powerhouse, he doesn't need to run away. Zatanos is exhausted, and the worst result is to turn into a stone statue and fall into a deep sleep. As long as the universe exists, he will be resurrected at some point in the future. He has relied on recklessness all his life, and there is no such word as escape in his concept. The Devil Knight felt Tesco, and once again condensed the sword of hell, staring at the front with all his attention. Maid. You strong people are all sick. Blood souls. A truly strong man never fears any desperate situation. The Devil Knight watched Fang Quan appear in front of him again, and couldn't help cursing, then you guys are so good. You talkative commanders. If you have the ability, do it yourself. Boom. This time, the Devil Knight took Fang Quan's foot hard with his own skull, and then hit his head hard with the ground. Fang Quan stepped on his skull and said seriously, you have become stronger a lot, but these are not enough, you still need to become stronger. The Devil Knight lay on the ground doubting life. Why am I just a stinking part-time worker, why do I have to go through these things? Fang Quan tilted his head and said with a smile, you value Luo Shan very much, don't you? The Devil Knight's spirit tensed instantly. What do you want to do? Fang Quan stroked his chin. If you don't integrate, my men will kill her. I hate your mother. Devil Knight rage. Blood souls, I don't care what price I have to pay, but I am now. I am willing to take out a change of power. Blood souls. However, after using these, you won't be able to touch anything in the mundane world. Tears of fire flowed from the eyes of the Devil Knight. However, if you can't even protect the people you cherish, even if you live, it will only be more painful. The Blood Souls sighed. The power of the Spirit of Vengeance is about to be loaded, this time you will have the power of a big angel. But, from now on, your body will only have divinity and demon nature. Humanity will be burned as fuel. Quote, I would. Fang Quan felt hot under his feet, the extremely pure angel power erupted completely, a burst of pure sun power and life power broke out, burning through the soles of his shoes. Boom! Infinite bright flames erupted, covering Fang Quan's sight. Fang Quan only felt that his feet were empty, and in the perception, an ultimate life body stood opposite him, watching him calmly. When the flames of infinite light dissipated, Fang Quan looked at the person in front of him and couldn't help laughing. Raphael, the big angel representing Wednesday, is the angel of the sun, and even more so, the angel that protects the source of life. Raphael accepted God's will and went down to protect all beings. Protect all beings with the power of light. Then, thousands of years passed. He's crazy. The desire of all beings erodes his mind and turns him into a lunatic. Raphael, who was pure, strong and just, became a lunatic who punished sinners. After God knew about it, he regretted taking back Raphael's soul, and made him into a punishment weapon, the spirit of vengeance, based on the priesthood of revenge, and wanted to pass revenge. Let Raphael regain his sanity. With white wings spread out, golden blue eyes, and a perfect human body, holding the Angel King's sword in his hand, he is wearing a holy battle armor. King Angel stared at Fang Quan. You are evil. Even between the same level, there are strengths and weaknesses. Angel Wang Raphael is naturally the best in the same class. It was his bravery and justice that trapped Meter's body in hell forever, and he was not allowed to leave hell until the end of the world. Fang Quan smiled. What is a crime? Angel King Knight. You are not a life in this universe, you are an invader. Are you another visitor from the multi-universe? Fang Quan. Oh, and then? Angel King's eyes were calm. Go back to your universe, you are not welcome here, outsiders. Fang Quan showed a sinister smile. Things have become more interesting. The world began to change color. The sky behind Fang Quan turned into a black night between Setsuna, the endless darkness roared and surged, and the darkness of half a blue star gathered behind him, closely following the black. The footsteps of the Dark King stopped behind the Dark King, loyally waiting for the order of the Dark King. King Angel looked at Fang Quan calmly. The sky behind him turned into daylight, and countless rays of light gathered in the sky, turning into a translucent figure with a majestic expression. And righteously watching King Angel, quietly waiting for King Angel's order to start charging. Angel King Knight sword pointed at Fang Quan. The dead angel spirits, the surviving angel warriors, the righteous warriors in the past, the righteous partners scattered in all walks of life, and the righteous warriors of the future. Rebel army, allies who signed a contract with Angel. I call you in the name of Angel. I need your power to drive out the outsiders, King Mephisto. Quote. The time and space gate in the sky is opened. The gods and warriors from the past, present, and future, accepting the call of the ancient angel covenant, came to meet Angel King Raphael. Fang Quan exclaimed, "It would be great if you were really Raphael, but you are just a lingering memory of him." The real Raphael had long since drowned in his own despair. What survived was a remnant soul who persevered in justice, the echo of the soul that Raphael had never forgotten, and the ideal that Raphael would not give up even if he died. However, even if this is just the purest and most core part of the righteous power of King Angel, it is enough to shock the 9 realms. Tien Bian, the super strong man who once shocked the 9 realms and convinced Wu Ji, did it. The ideal that all living beings yearn for and are willing to work hard for. Now, it reappears in the world again. Angel King Knight's eyes were calm. I am willing to sacrifice my life for the peace of all living beings in the 9 realms. It was in the past, it is now, and it will be in the future. He said it, and he did it. In this world where the truth seems cruel, there was once a king angel who pursued justice and kindness unremittingly, and sacrificed his life for thousands of years. One way to pursue justice. After the remnant soul of the angel king awakened, the first thing he did was not to find a place to restore his true strength as the angel king, but to face the evil directly, just like what he did thousands of years ago. Fang Quan smiled. Do you think you can beat me? Angel King Knight. A knight never retreats. Fang Quan snapped his fingers. Okay, before we start, let me improve my strength a little bit. Start lottery draw. Congratulations to the host for gaining control of the troll army. Now, Fang Quan has mastered 4 of the 9 Black Shadow Legions. Troll soldiers, with infinite strength and extremely high defense, have no shortcomings in other aspects except that their agility is not very high. The troll soldier can be regarded as a tank-type fighter in the Shadow Army. However, this is not the most important thing. Most importantly, Fang Quan has increased his control over the Sombra Empire by a large margin, and is one step closer to the perfect Sombra Emperor. Among the invisible, Fang's imperial majesty was more abundant. King Angel's golden blue eyes were fixed, and his face became more dignified. You are a king. Fang Quan looked around and snapped his fingers. This is my homeland, and I don't like it being damaged. Now, welcome to the Shadow Universe. The time and space of the surrounding world reversed, and between Setsuna, Fang Quan recruited all his forces, as well as the army of light summoned by King Angel's knights, to the Shadow Planet. This is a planet formed by the power of darkness. On this planet, there are endless dark life forms, not only shadow soldiers. However, the Shadow Empire is the only civilized empire on this planet. In addition to expanding in the main universe, the Sombra Legion is also constantly developing and expanding in the Sombra universe, serving their king and civilization. Night King Angel looked up, and there was a pitch-black sky, but through the black clouds in the sky, he felt a strange starry sky. You are indeed a life form from another universe. You are here invade the 9 realms. King Angel's knight felt the great bonus of the environment here to King Mephisto. King Mephisto stays here, feeling as happy as returning home, looking at these dark life forms with fierce eyes, all of them are talents. Fang Quan smiled. Blue Star is my homeland, I said to protect Blue Star, do you believe me? King Angel smiled, holding the sword of King Angel. Don't let the huge empire go, to protect a fragile backward civilization. Fang Quan knew that this fool would not believe it, so he shrugged. Strange. Angel King Knight nodded. Kill. During Setsuna, the torrent of darkness and the torrent of light collided between the heaven and the earth, and the shadow soldiers of the 4 major armies constantly emerged from the darkness and charged towards the army of light. The army of light also rushed out from the gate of time and space unremittingly, rushing forward to the army of darkness. The two sides are natural rivals, there is no need for language at all, and they will start fighting when they meet, without any distinction. Fang Quan and King Angel also collided together. The space where the two sides collided was slightly distorted, and the space vibe directly shattered and disintegrated everything around them. Fang Quan sneered, grabbing King Angel's sword with one hand, and the power of darkness collided with the power of light, making loud noises. Do you believe in justice or your judgment? Angel King Knight's tone was calm and firm. I was fighting the army of darkness before I fell asleep, and the first thing I saw after waking up was the King of Darkness. Do you need me to explain anything? The civilization of this world is too weak. I was with these guys a dozen versions ago. After more than 10 versions, they still let me do these guys. How did these people survive until now? But, don't you burn your hands. The Knight of King Angel was surprised to see Fang Quan holding the sword of King Angel so rigidly, letting countless sun powers wash over his Beelzebub's body, colliding with the darkest force on his body surface and bursting into high temperature. Fang Quan tilted his head slightly. Although I can fight you with the power of the darkest, it's a bit troublesome because it always makes noises again and again. King Angel's night perception came in front of him, King Mephisto's attributes changed, and his pupils trembled. No. How is this possible? 12 golden light divine patterns turned into light wheels and appeared behind Fang Chu's head. Fang Quan's body also turned into the body of a god king, exuding the power of a god king who is pure, kind, high, and gentle, and the perfect Sun King divine light radiates from his body. King Angel's sword let out an overwhelmed scream, and backed up little by little until it stopped in front of the shocked eyes of King Angel's knight. The coercion of the God King suppressed the personality of the Angel King Knight. Fang Quan smiled gently. Look, it's much more comfortable this way. The golden blue pupils of King Angel's Knight trembled, and the huge amounts of Jia Baiyu's wings on his back trembled slightly. God King. The God King who has mastered the laws of the world. Fang Quan watched Angel King's sword screaming in fear, and the palm stopped making repeated noises. He felt it was interesting, and lightly said, Look, it's much quieter to fight this way. Boom. The skin of King Angel's Knight was cracked, and countless divine lights erupted from it. The entire King Angel was directly pointed towards the sky, knocking down countless colleagues who fought together along the way. The army of light stopped unknowingly, and everyone looked at King Angel's Knight, waiting for Raphael's order. Angel King Knight Raphael is running wildly in his heart, and he can't help but ask Johnny Blazer in his body, Mortal, isn't he King Mephisto? Johnny Blazer. Yeah, isn't he King Mephisto? You ask me, how do I know? No, big brother, you can't play on my account, can you? Angel King and Cavalier Raphael expressed his anger. This matter is more complicated than you and I imagined. What was your conflict in the first place? Johnny Blazer. You ask me, how do I know? He said he was going to hit me, and he didn't stop the whole time, saying that I could become awesome. But I kept getting beaten. Angel King Cavalier Raphael felt very embarrassed. He saw King Mephisto beating Johnny Blazer as soon as he opened his eyes, and he never stopped. So, Raphael subconsciously thought that this was a powerful enemy that threatened the security of the world. This is indeed the case after his actual certification. This is indeed the Dark King from another universe. But, now comes the embarrassing question, Zhan Shenzai has become the king of the world. Fang Quan stood on the spot with a light smile on his face. Why, what are you hesitation about? Night King Angel waited up, and said seriously, Johnny, is there anything else you can do? Johnny Blazer has a grassy feeling. What else can I do? Guess what strength I was an hour ago? I was just a Hellfire Skeleton Knight. Now, 1 hour later, what kind of strength is the enemy I am facing? A God King who can turn the whole world around in a single thought. Angel King Raphael swept his spiritual power to the souls of the Blood Clan in the Sea of Souls, and Johnny also looked at the souls of the Blood Clan in the Sea of Souls. The souls of the Blood Clan were shocked. What do you think I am doing? If we can fight, will we lose our immortality and become souls? Angel King Raphael gave up this idea speechlessly, and pondered, the judgment of the Dark King is correct. You do have the qualifications to become extremely strong, but I'm not sure if you can pass the test. Johnny Blazer is a bachelor. the worst I can accept is that Roseanne is fine. If you guys let me go to dinner with Roseanne tonight, I'm giving it my all. Knight of God, Johnny Blazer, I suspect you're trying to trick me. Quote, Angel King Raphael. The Vengeance Knight was originally a punishment weapon created by God, but it became a Ghost Rider because of me Faith's intervention. If you can pass the final test of the punishment weapon, you can use it in a short time peak strength. However, I don't know what test you will accept, and I don't know what will happen afterwards. Quote, Johnny Blazer laughed dryly. Then have you ever seen God? Is God good-tempered? Angel King Raphael shook his head resolutely. No, we have never seen God. Since ancient times, we have accepted oracle actions. We rely on the maintenance of justice and order to survive, and we also take justice and order as our mission. I also cannot describe the existence and significance of God to you, because the existence of God cannot be explained with the level of civilization we currently have. Quote, Johnny Blazer. In other words, I don't know what the test content is, I don't know what the test subjects are, and I don't know what the test direction is, so you let me take the test. Quote, the scumbag stayed in school for a few days anyway. How embarrassing you make me, I don't even understand the justice order that you Angel said. Angel Wong Raphael looked at Fang Quan. Look, if you go, we might all survive. If you don't go, we will definitely die together later. Do you think my body of King Angel can resist his attack? Just the aftermath of his attack shattered my divine body. Quote, what else can Johnny Blazer do? He can only say that he can be forced. This time, Johnny Blazer's soul entered a mysterious state. He couldn't describe this state, he couldn't feel the existence and passage of time, he couldn't remember what he saw, he just remembered that he began to vaguely comprehend some things, and obtained the authority of some things. When Johnny Blazer opened his eyes, he had already mastered the right to use the God Knight. He had changed into his usual appearance and stood there, but his mind was able to read everything around him. Johnny Blazer God Knight looked at Fang Quan in front of him, and wanted to spit out some grassy words. How should I put it? It's very grassy. In the state of Ghost Rider, the feeling is that he will die suddenly. In the state of the Devil Knight, the feeling is that he will die suddenly. In King Angel's Knight state, the feeling is that he will die suddenly. Finally came to the state of the God Knight, the feeling is that I will die suddenly. What about playing here? Are you making trouble? Playing with me? Fang Quan looked at Johnny Blazer in surprise. He didn't expect that he actually forced out the ultimate form of Ghost Rider, God Knight. Fang Quan was surprised. To be honest, I know you can have this strength, but I didn't expect you to be able to enter this state so many years in advance, even though you have not mastered these historical regions. Johnny Blazer God Knight is very helpless. My perception tells me that I will definitely lose. I have gradually begun to understand all this, but I still can't understand your existence. Would you like to explain it kindly? To be honest, with my own state, I can go back and beat Mo Faith and Rand Kier on the ground. But I can't beat Fang Quan by myself. Fang Quan was in a good mood and saw what he wanted to see. In a certain timeline, you became a Knight of God, and in that timeline, the strongest. As for me, the source of my power is beyond your knowledge, so you cannot understand it. Johnny Blazer regretted. I thought it was spell magic, or an extension of some kind of law magic source. But I didn't expect it to be unknown. I admit defeat. It seems to have a divine power similar to that of Blue Star, or the magic that exists in the universe, but after careful analysis, it is unknown. And this guy doesn't really want to kill me, or go to Saint Roseanne. This naughty fool really wants to have fun by seeing himself gain access to the God Knight. Right, have fun. After he reached the state of Shang Wang Jiao Emperor Knight, Johnny Blazer felt very clearly that the fighting spirit on Fang Quan had dissipated, and there was only a feeling of looking at strange animals. Eyes. Fang Quan was really curious about whether he would become a God Knight. Look at your mother. The task is completed, the number of lucky draws +1. Fang Quan shrugged. Very well, I am very satisfied. Do you need me to prove my strength to you? Johnny Blazer God Knight dispersed the army of light speechlessly. No need, I don't want to kiss your fist with my face. Would you like to see where you are standing? You are standing above your domain of God. Would you like to see me standing there? I am standing above your divine domain. But if you are standing in the heaven realm at this moment, I will give you a punch. However, to be a man, we must recognize the reality. If you can't beat it, you can't beat it. Fang Quan was a little bored, and asked the army to withdraw. Well, Johnny Blazer, congratulations, you are free, and you will no longer be bound by the Fiend's Covenant, Angel Contract, Start. Heart. Johnny Blazer quit the God Knight status and became a normal Angel Knight, with a happy face. Yeah, I'm so happy, I don't know how many times I was killed by you. I don't know how much power I have integrated in my life, and my soul has been hovering on the verge of sudden death. I don't know how many times. I used the Ancient Covenant to summon my allies to see my predecessor, Angel King Raphael, being beaten, and successfully humiliated the entire angel time and space. I couldn't be happier. Quote, Fang Quan shrugged and comforted. Don't cry, it's just that you have lost your face all over the angel time and space. Johnny Blazer smiled uglier than crying. Yeah, when I go out in the future, others can be me. Hey, you see, this is the guy who summoned the Army of Light, and then was watched and beaten by the Army of Light. Fang Quan couldn't hold back and laughed out loud. In front of the Dark Palace, Johnny Blazer looked up at the morning sun appearing in the sky, as if in a lifetime. Before coming, I was just an ordinary ghost rider. After coming here, I have experienced the power of the devil, angel, Raphael, and God's knights, and I have a completely different state of mind. Although I need to grow and practice again, I can gradually master those powers. But, I have grown up, and even if I lose these strengths, I will definitely be able to live a good life. Johnny Blazer smiled frankly, and felt that the biggest gain was the spirit of these strong men who never flinched and carried out their beliefs with their lives. Fang Quan admires Johnny Blazer very much. Among so many people, Johnny Blazer is the one who grows most calmly after metamorphosis. Johnny, I will wish you happiness. By the way, this is my mobile phone number, if you need anything call me. Johnny Blazer was flattered and hurriedly accepted the guest film. Thank you, my lord. King Mephisto is really an unpredictable powerhouse. Definitely, he's also a really badass villain. Fang Quan smiled lightly, and didn't care about Johnny Blazer's little thoughts. Okay, get out of here, I have to catch up on sleep. Fang Quan shattered time and space to leave, and went straight back to the bedroom. Fang Quan stood in the bedroom, looked at the task panel in front of him, and chose to extract. Congratulations to the host for gaining control of the Samurai Legion. Samurai Legion, a shadow warrior wearing armor and holding a katana, can be regarded as a standard armor warrior, and can easily burst out powerful lethality. The warrior leader came out of the darkness silently and knelt down in front of the Dark King. Fang Quan glanced at his appearance, and said indifferently, on weekdays, you, like other leaders, take turns to attack the Dark Universe, conquer their civilization, and destroy Dormammu's Dark Empire. Fang Quan paused, touched his chin. Right, add 1, starting today, look for the coordinates of the Hell World. From now on, fight against the Dark Universe at the beginning of the month, rest the whole army in the middle of the month, and fight against the Hell World at the end of the month. Quote. The warrior leader obeyed respectfully and retreated into the darkness. Fang Quan sneered, Mo Faith asked you to do something to me, and you don't think you deserve it. If the Lord wants to make you cry, you won't be able to cry. Punish the heart first, then kill. Fang Quan really liked to torture these guys to despair, and then killed them happily. In front of the Dark Palace, the winter wind is bleak. Johnny Blazer looked at the business card in his hand hesitantly, counted it, honestly stored it in his phone, and carefully set it as an emergency contact. Although this incident was a bit inexplicable, I ran over and got beaten up, satisfying King Mephisto's pleasure and gaining King Mephisto's appreciation. But, the ending is good. I got the boss experience card, and also got the path of cultivation and growth. After that, as long as I don't die, I can become a god knight step by step. So, should I deal with those two fools now? When Johnny Blazer thought of the Fiend's Covenant on his current body, the power contract had been cleared, and he felt extremely refreshed. Souls of the Blood Clan, young man, are you sure you want to pick those two strong men? Raphael, Johnny, I'm wrong. Temporary compromise is not shameful, but for a brighter future. Holding a business card in his hand, Johnny Blazer looked back at the huge dark palace, showing a confident smile. You say, I will summon the two of them together, and then tell a little lie to deceive them, so that they will not dare to look for me from now on. Trouble, how? Souls of the Blood Clan, lies will not work in front of the strong. The information analysis ability of the strong is infinitely stronger than yours. They have dealt with the two demon kings countless times, they understand it too well. Angel Wang Raphael laughed and said, but the truth is fine, they may not necessarily believe your truth, but they will definitely have scruples about you. Johnny Blazer. HMPH, I still trust King Mephisto more than these two guys. Johnny Blazer still knows the difference between good and bad. King Mephisto looks cruel, but he is actually very cruel. But behind the cruel truth is an extremely realistic growth. Johnny Blazer does not necessarily agree with King Mephisto's concept, but he will not deny that he has accepted the great gift of King Mephisto. I follow King Mephisto, and I get external and internal growth in all aspects, pure growth without calculation. Mo Faith and Rand Kier both used themselves as tools, and Xiao Juju behind him could hear even himself dizzily. I'm going to play big this time. Johnny Blazer returned to the workshop, put the motorcycle on the parking space, walked to the center of the hall, and prepared for the summoning ceremony. Souls of the Blood Clan, you'd better confirm King Mephisto's attitude, lest you overplay and make King Mephisto hate you. You also have to figure out the degree of King Mephisto's gift. Quote. Angel King Raphael agrees. Yes, King Mephisto's temperament is unpredictable, but he does what he says. If you ask clearly, everything is easy to talk about. Johnny Blazer swallowed, and unconsciously thought of how he looked like a dog just now. It's impossible for you to say that you don't have any psychological shadows. At that time, it was for the sake of face, to support his man's dignity. But now to contact King Mephisto, it is impossible not to be afraid. All the souls of the Blood Clan and Angel King Raphael emerged from behind him from left to right, looking at him in unison. Souls of the Blood Clan, you're not being cowardly, are you? Angel Wang Raphael. I understand, you are also very normal. Johnny Blazer's eyes widened. How could I be cowardly? I'll make a video call now. With trembling hands, Johnny Blazer slowly approached the dial key, and then pressed it hard. His face turned 3 points pale. Isn't King Mephisto trying to catch up on sleep now? The phone is connected. Fang Quan was lying on the chair. The power of darkness around him was slowly nourishing the body of King Mephisto. Fang Quan drank the juice and asked curiously, what's the matter? Something is wrong with your body and soul. It shouldn't be. I've seen it. You don't have any sequelae on your body. With Raphael here, it's unlikely that something will happen to you. For Johnny Blazer, Fang Quan still has a lot of appreciation. This is a responsible man. Johnny Blazer confessed his plan and sincerely asked King Mephisto to stand for him. You don't have to do anything, as long as you don't blame him for taking advantage of Fang Quan's prestige and pretending to be a tiger. Fang Quan smiled. It's such an interesting fun, why should I blame you? I'll hide my body first, and you play first. I really want to see the faces of these two fools. Remember, little guy, if you have fun next time, you must share it with me. Quote. Fang Quan directly waved his hand, tearing apart the time and space in front of him, opening the hole on Johnny Blazer's side. Johnny Blazer hung up the phone dumbfounded. My lord. You. I'm looking for fun, you continue, don't worry about me. Johnny Blazer felt dizzy, only felt how awesome King Mephisto is. He's really up to something. Johnny Blazer immediately felt his back straightened, and immediately began to summon Moto Faith and Randy Keel at the same time. Angel Wang Raphael. It's not convenient for me to come out, I'll hide and watch. Angel King Raphael is currently in the state of a remnant soul. Once he shows up, it will definitely cause big news in the 9 realms. Although there are previous records of using the ancient angel covenant, it is extremely difficult to find out who used it, and it is impossible to guess who it is in a short time. The souls of the Blood Clan shrugged. So do we. If Mo Faith sees us, he will be in great trouble. In less than a moment, the projections of Moto Faith and Randakil both appeared. Mo Faith is on Johnny Blazer's right and then CGDD Kier is on his left. As soon as Mo Faith raised his eyes, he saw Randakir, with a mocking expression on his face. It turns out that you are a running dog in the angel world. It is really unlucky to see you. Randakir sneered. More Faith was seriously injured by the ancient King Raphael. What is it like to live forever and never get out of hell? Moto Faith's face was slightly angry. Really? Then you also want to try the feeling of being torn apart, and you can't escape forever. Moto Faith didn't take advantage, but that doesn't mean Raphael did. Mo Faith left Raphael with serious trauma on the soul level, which also to a large extent prevented Raphael from living with a perfect soul, which made him unable to carry out Angel's justice, and fell into madness. Death. Raphael beat Moto to eternal life and was imprisoned in hell. He could only rely on the hell world to preserve his broken body and the soul of the devil. Once Faith pulls the main body out of hell, he will soon die because he cannot suppress his injuries. In fact, Raphael was able to do this at the beginning, becoming an eternal king in the angel world, but the great Raphael gave up the practice of attaching to the origin of the world, and left more resources and hopes to the vast angel. Both sides snorted coldly and stopped the verbal dispute. Randikir unexpectedly asked Johnny, "You came back alive. I thought you were going to ask me for help in the daytime." "I am ready to come to the incarnation," Mo Faith said disdainfully. "Johnny, if you are willing to give up that angel, I can give you more, and the immortal life is just the starting point." The two talked to each other, but their eyes looked at each other, and they both saw doubts in each other's eyes. "Johnny Blazer is crazy, call them together." Johnny nodded in agreement, thanking both sides, then picked up the animal blood with his left hand, and the holy water with his right hand, and poured them on the two avatars. Randkill's projection felt severe pain, and he was furious. "Johnny, you lowly species, what do you mean?" Moto Faith's face made a rustling sound corroded by sulfuric acid, and his upper body revealed an ugly demon body. "Rage, stupid mortal, do you really think I won't do anything to you?" Quote. Johnny Blazer looked calm. "Dog, you order me to try it out." Mo Faith was so angry that he showed his real body as a demon. The body of the sheep-headed demon swelled up rapidly, reaching a height of more than 3 meters in the blink of an eye. "Kneel down, mortal." Johnny Blazer became terrified, and threw the cup in his hand in a panic. "No. No, contract." Moto Faith couldn't help but sneered. "You are so crazy, you dare to treat me." Crack. Moto Faith smelled a strong smell of urine, felt the sourness of urinating, and watched Johnny put down the chamber pot in his hand. Johnny Blazer put down the chamber pot he picked up, and concluded regretfully, "It seems that the urine of an adult can't ward off demons. I have to take notes on this." Mo Faith stared deeply at Johnny Blazer, and began to step back slowly, letting the urine on his head slowly slide down. "Fiend's covenant is invalid, Randy Keel. If he can't bear it, he will be disturbed. He can bear this kind of shame." Randigir felt something was wrong and hurriedly ordered, "Kneel down, Johnny." Johnny Blazer picked up the chamber pot and looked at him like an idiot. "Don't make me hit you with the chamber pot, Randkill." For the sake of Randkill treating himself better than murder Faith, Johnny. It didn't go too far. Randgir sensed something was wrong. Soul. His soul. Mo Faith's red eyes flashed, his mental power swept through the contract, and he found that he couldn't trace Johnny Blazer's soul. "I can't find it." In other words, with the ability I projected, I couldn't see Johnny Blazer's soul anymore. Randkir's face darkened. "Me too. Obviously signed the angel contract, but now the angel contract has completely disappeared, and I can't see a mortal soul anymore." Johnny Blazer put down the chamber pot, feeling surprised. It seems that everyone is smart and knows that things are in big trouble. Dealing with smart people saves effort. Although Johnny Blazer only got the boss experience card, in terms of original authority, the single has been elevated to a level unimaginable by Mer Faith and Randkir. Mo Faith wiped the urine from his face, and said in a calm voice, "It's King Mephisto." Randikil also began to back away slowly, his eyes full of vigilance. "There is only King Mephisto. Faith, you are really good at playing things off." Mephisto used magic to remove the uncleanness from his body, and his face was not good. "I only know that King Mephisto has a weird temperament, but I didn't expect it to be so outrageous. He is willing to shelter a ghost rider to kill him." Quote. Mo Faith has already swept the surroundings with his mental power, and found strange things on Johnny, squinting his eyes, the smell of the souls of the Blood Clan. "So you hid here," I said, "a few thousand. Over the years, why have I never seen the souls of your people?" The souls of the Blood Clan emerged helplessly. "Long time no see, Mo Faith." However, Dekil detected a different aura from Johnny. His face changed drastically, he hurriedly knelt on the ground, and lowered his head in a panic. "See, King Angel." A helpless faint sigh sounded. "It's been so many years, I didn't expect you to still perceive my hidden aura." Randikir raised his head, his face burst into tears, and his voice choked up. "Brother, how could I forget you?" The phantom of Angel King Raphael's soul emerged from behind Johnny. Angel King Raphael looked at his younger brother dotingly and helplessly. "Why did you betray the angel world? If others can't understand it, can he still understand it?" Randikil is collecting the soul power of good spirits and digging the foundation of the angel world. He wants to overthrow the angel world. Angel King Raphael is the Sun King Angel, the oldest, the most responsible, and the elder brother of many angels. Randikir's eyes were red. "Brother, I did not betray the angel world. It's the new angel queen, it's her. It's that woman who betrayed us." Angel Wang Raphael glanced at Mo Faith, raised his eyebrows slightly, and finally said, "Say." Mo Faith looked like he was watching the show, holding his shoulders, maintaining the appearance of the real devil, with a smirk on his face. I didn't expect, I can still eat the old enemy's melon." Randikil took out a scroll from his arms. "Since your death, there have been 2 angel kings. The old angel king betrayed Asgard, which triggered a war of gods. The war failed. We were exiled by Odin of Rage, cut off Bifrost, and cannot walk freely in the 9 realms." Quote. Angel Wang Raphael took a deep breath, feeling that it was really outrageous. There is quite a feeling that one session is not as good as the previous one. This move is extremely stupid, let alone why you didn't overthrow him. Angel didn't maintain order, but ran to start a war. Picture what? Without me to suppress the overall situation, why are you fighting a living eternal rank powerhouse? Where does the courage come from? Randgir cried bitterly. We overthrew him, and the result is this woman who is so stupid that she can't listen to Oracle. As a result, they never expected that an even stupider one would come up. Angel King Raphael can't listen to the Oracle. Can't the current Angel King even do this? Evidence. Randikir immediately took out Oracle's copy scroll from his arms. This is a reprinted version, brother, listen. Could this be the will of my God? Angel Raphael took the scroll with both hands and unfolded it. Odin, the God King of the Asgard God realm, is dying. This is a great opportunity for our angel world and all angels to avenge their shame. Oracle's voice is majestic and supreme, full of the coercion of the strong, and has the pure charm of the sun's divine power as the keynote. No matter how you look at it, this is a perfect oracle. Angel King Raphael's face was slightly angry, and he directly turned the scroll in his hand into fly ash. Raphael, who seldom gets angry and has never flinched even in the face of desperation, truly feels rage at this moment. Randahir was so frightened that he shrank his wings and wrapped himself around his body. His voice dropped 3 tones. Is it? Brother, you are so angry. Johnny Blazer looked curiously at the souls of the Blood Clan, hoping he could answer. All the souls of the Blood Clan shook their heads, expressing that they did not understand either. Moto Faith was also full of curiosity. What's wrong? Is there something wrong with this oracle? To be honest, if this thing is placed in front of me, I will have to weigh it. This oracle in the angel world is notoriously tough and outrageous. Back then, the angel order was able to expand to the 9 realms, and this oracle had a lot of credit. Angels regard Oracle as an absolute guide, and follow Oracle's guidance conscientiously from birth to death. Angel King Raphael took a deep breath, calmed down, and suppressed the anger in his golden blue eyes. A long time ago, our angels were just like humans, not powerful but with an extra pair of wings. But in a certain period, I had an epiphany in the sunshine and felt the existence of a great will. At that time, I was ignorant, and I prayed to this great will in shock and surprise. After observing me, the great will gave me the gift called wisdom. Since then, I have become the eternal Angel King, leading the development of the angel family, and serving the existence of great will all my life. As soon as everyone heard this, they knew the important point was coming, and they all pricked up their ears, staring at Angel King Raphael. Angel King Raphael looked solemn. However, because of will, I never say such words. He has existed since ancient times, his body is composed of all things and stars, and the eternal time has turned into divine light to color him. The only interest of the Great Will is to observe the movement of all things, and occasionally share with me the truth of the world that I can understand. Everyone, this strong man, his attitude towards me is not aloof, not natural contempt. Rather, it is equality, gentleness, kindness, sincerity, integrity, justice, and bravery. The ultimate strengthening of the beautiful side of all things in the world. Mo Faith was dumbfounded. Do you really have a God? The one who created the universe? Angel King Raphael shook his head. No, we don't know, but I know that this great existence can interfere with the movement of time in the universe. He is the ultimate embodiment of divinity. He is almost omniscient and omnipotent. However, the reason why I followed him all my life is because I learned the angel order from him. Quote, therefore, Queen Angel's oracle is naturally fake. It is impossible for this great will to issue such an order. Randikir said weakly. Brother, look, is it normal for me to turn my back? Since you died, the angel world has been worse than the previous one, and the new one I am really cannot watch anymore. Angel King Raphael sighed. Okay, I'm sorry for you. When I recover my real body, I will definitely take you back and let these worthless guys know that Angel's order is not only based on kindness, there is also absolute power. After the angels of the older generation have experienced the life guided by the Supreme Oracle, how can they bear to follow the guidance of this kind of oracle? Mo Faith's expression stabilized. So, it was you who made the move. Not King Mephisto. If the old rival reappears in the world, this matter can still be justified. Mo Faith calmly began to condense the Demon King's sword. Then I can only send you to die again. Raphael, take a deep breath, don't panic, feeling dizzy is normal. Randigir hurriedly appeared in front of Johnny Blazer, glaring. Mer Faith, do you really think I don't exist? Mo Faith sneered. I'm not even afraid of King Mephisto, the Lord of the world, but you, an ant. Do you really think you are your brother Angel King Raphael? Your brother is the best of the eternal class, I think. You are a third-rate eternal class, and you deserve to talk to me. Johnny Blazer picked up the phone. Mephisto, it's not too late for you to apologize, I really have King Mephisto's phone in my hand. Mo Faith laughed loudly. You have the ability to let him hit me. Everything in the world has a soul, and the hell will only become stronger with more battles. What is Mephisto Lord? Ha 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 ha. This is the confidence of Mo Faith. War and death will only make hell stronger and stronger. I'm a leader in the hell department, do you really think I'm easy to mess with? Johnny Blazer looked at Mo Faith with admiration, and put away his cell phone. Boss, you saw it, he really wanted to die. Papa Papa. The applause sounded, and the time and space beside Johnny Blazer appeared, revealing the Mephisto King Fang Quan, who was leaning on the chair and admiring. Fang Quan admired. It seems that my fists are not hard enough. Mo Faithter. What in the world is more terrifying than Zhengsheng watching from the sidelines when he is bragging? Angel King Raphael looked at Mo Faith with pity. Let me introduce this one to you. This one's full name is the King of Gods and Demons of the Time and Space Department, a venerable who even I dare not offend in my heyday. Mo Faith turned pale in shock, and took 2 steps back. The King of Time, Space, Gods and Demons. Made. Kicked to the plate. God King and Demon King. From gods and demons to king-level powerhouses. Mo Faith's throat couldn't help slipping. I was just bragging. Is it too late for me to admit my mistake? Don't say that Fang Quan is not the king of gods and demons, or just a demon king. If he is here, the Lord Raphael will not die. King Mephisto's position at the moment is already obvious, that is to protect Angel King Raphael. Depend on. Done. If I wait until Angel King Raphael returns to his real body, I will be beaten again. Mo Faith instant feeling de Tesco. The recovery process of Angel King Raphael is naturally extremely difficult, but he has the ability to recover. And I have been imprisoned in hell for life. There will be no good days in the future. Quan Chi smiled. Mo Faith, you are so brave, do you think I dare not go to hell to beat you? Mo Faith smiled dryly. I'm just talking nonsense. Fang Quan snapped his fingers. The leaders of the 5 shadows came out of the darkness and knelt behind Fang Quan. Fang Quan's eyes were cold. In the future, 2 dark legions will attack the Hell universe, 2 dark universes, and 1 will stay in the main world and take turns stationing. Until the power of Dormammu and Motor collapsed. Quote. Moto Faith's smile froze on his face. Johnny Blazer laughed out loud in an instant. Smiles don't disappear, they just shift. Angel King Raphael and the souls of the Blood Clan laughed at the same time. Only those who have seen the Legion of Darkness with their own eyes will know how outrageous King Mephisto's Legion is. Immortal and immortal, there is no soul to harvest, and the original authority is extremely high. Mo Faith swept his eyes and saw that the 5 chiefs were immortal, but he didn't think much about it. In these days, which family's strong subordinates don't have any immortality? Moto Faith was stunned, but he became stiff. King Mephisto, I am really in hell. Unless you can destroy hell, I will not die. Do you really think I'm that impulsive guy, Dormammu? Dormammu left the Dark Universe, only to be caught and beaten by you, an Ancient One. I'm going to live in hell for the rest of my life. As long as I am not murderous. As long as I am not impulsive. Then I can't lose. Fang Quan sneered twice, didn't bother to talk, and snapped his fingers directly. Grandson, there will be times when you regret it. I will let you taste the pain, despair, and howl before killing you. Mo Faith smiled angrily. Take what I'm good at. Before he could finish speaking, the projection was dropped by Fang Liang. An angry roar sounded from the ground, but the sound also quickly faded away. Fang Quan looked at Randakir. Randahie was clever, and immediately moved 5 meters away, hands raised. I declare in advance I didn't order to attack you, I just want to overthrow the rule of the heroine. My brother doesn't look like he's ever been beaten. It's even more impossible for me to beat it. Randakil is very aware of his own waist, and he considers himself a bachelor. Angel King Raphael smiled wryly and shook his head. Randakir is a mediocre one among my younger brothers, but he is not stupid. He will not do things beyond the limits of his ability, and generally seeks stability first. Quote, look, even on the road of collecting the power of good spirits in the world, he dare not follow the path of the angel system, but develops the offline by himself and asks the offline to help collect it. This kind of stupid angel, he is the only one in the world. It is difficult for this kind of angel to dare to achieve great things, but he will not make mistakes either. Fang Quan shrugged. For your sake, this matter has been exposed. However, if there is anything related to faith in the future, it must be. To inform me, I'd still gladly step on this guy. 0. Angel Wang Raphael nodded. Okay, I will thank you on behalf of Johnny and my brother. On this point, I will definitely not be stingy with information. Being able to see his old enemy being beaten, Angel Wang Raphael was too late to be happy. Seeing the end of the matter, Fang Quan felt bored and disappeared immediately. In the workshop, only Johnny, the 2 angels, and the souls of the Blood Clan were left. Randakir breathed a sigh of relief, and a long-lost happy smile suddenly appeared on his face. The smile was very bright, like a stupid younger brother who had done bad things but was dealt with by his own brother. Brother, long time no see. I always feel that there is a big brother, even if the sky falls, it will not be a problem. Raphael's expression was slightly moved. Yeah, long time no see, stupid brother. You caused me trouble not long after I was resurrected. Hey bro, stop talking about this and have a drink. Raphael laughed loudly. Okay, have a drink. Hell World, Demon King City. When Faith recalled the experience just now, he was embarrassed and angry, and punched the throne. Johnny. How could such a weak and ignorant guy be favored by King Mephisto? And also, why is Angel King Raphael's soul on Johnny? Mo Faith was puzzled and had no idea what was going on. This wave was more than just playing off, abruptly revived his old opponents. What a pity. My lord, it's not good. Moto Faith quickly calmed down, and his expression was flat. What's wrong? Regardless of Tien's big emotions, Moto Faith can always weigh the pros and cons at the first time, and control his emotions well. A hell demon hurried in, knelt down in front of him, with a panicked expression. The prince has gone to the human world again. Moto Faith looked indifferent. Doesn't he go there often? Let him do what he wants. My lord, something is wrong. The prince didn't know where he found out about the contract of Saint Van Gonzal, that is, the contract of Vengeance Town that you once signed. Now he is going to find the 10,000 Ghosts Vengeance Town contract. The prince wants to absorb 100,000 evil spirits and become the Devil King. Moto Faith's eyes widened, and his voice instantly turned up to 100,000 degrees. What? How did you let him know about this? There is now a Mephisto king on Blue Star. Why did you ask my son to find the power to absorb the contract of Vengeance Town that contains 100,000 evil spirits? He is destined to find it, but can he still use it? Once the Vengeance Town contract comes into being, King Mephisto will not notice such a big movement. Mo Faith panicked instantly. Find him quickly. Once he is found by King Mephisto, I won't even have time to collect the body. You are a second generation, you just don't do anything all day long, and I, father, won't blame you. But how did you come up with the idea of using Lao Su's contract to become stronger? When you are promoted in Blue Star, it is your death day. Moto Faith wants to slap himself 2 big mouths now. Maid, let you brag. Now it's all right, my son may be gone. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.